Last week on True Crime Investigates, we took you deep into the unsolved case of Abby and Libby.
Our granddaughter Libby was flat out killed.
My daughter Abby and her friend Libby were found murdered.
For what? No clue.
We heard from their friend, Dalton Jones.
I know it's just different. That's why I was okay. I'm 20 now. I thought I was okay with all this.
Their former boyfriend, Max Snow.
I do regret not going with them, yes.
And then we analyzed the system used by Gray Hughes to determine who was the bridge guy. But the Loganites are back, and their theory is strong. Says her dead ex-old man is the killer.
I said, oh my God, he finally killed somebody.
And that Ron was physically abusive during the
I
breakup.
knew that he killed Abby and Libby. He's a violent man. Ron told me that he's gonna kill me.
But the viewers are firing back, and now they want proof.
I'm lucky to be sitting here talking to you.
World-renowned profiler John Kelly.
But most of the tips on who Bridge Guy specifically was were from girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, and ex-wives. And we looked at all that.
It is a strong possibility that A and B are one and the same individual.
But is Lois Gibson just a hoax?
Features become compressed and vice versa. What this does is you could essentially make two entirely different people appear very similar when they're not. So this is why this comparison is invalid.
Fig Solves reveals the first Ron Logan search warrant, debunking the former property owner as a suspect.
But there's over 10. I mean, it's just too much. This is invalid. This comparison means nothing. You might as well have a kid draw two different pictures in crayon and say those are the same people. They're both Ron Logan, or this is about as legit as that. Tonight,
Connie Dillman is back again, and she's pissed off.
Can we stop? Can we?
Yeah, we can stop.
Okay.
Find out what she told True Crime Investigates later on in the show.
I don't know where that came from.
But we also took you deeper into the story of Keegan Kline.
I wanted him to confess.
In never-before-seen jailhouse video, Brown uncovered new details about the Yubo app.
Even with no makeup on.
That's fine.
Yeah, I live by myself. I have cats and I used to work on a cruise ship and stuff.
And then, a strange man, 24 years old, met up with two 15-year-old girls in the woods in Delphi to smoke marijuana. And that made national news? Did he have other intentions? And we saw how an Alabama inmate escaped from lockup with her help. But that's not all. We broke down how police could lose a tip in a murder investigation. Dan Doolin, the same cop who took Richard Allen's tip and lost it, also took mine. The leaker, Mitch Westerman, is due back in court. His case is set for a hearing on March 27th on a motion to dismiss. Will he walk away unscathed for leaking sensitive crime scene photos to the public? And Judge Gull has denied a request for cameras in the courtroom for the contempt hearing on March 18th for Baldwin and Rozzi, who now want more money for experts. But by the end of this week, defense counsel must submit their discovery for the hearing to the state. But this week, on True Crime Investigates, a mysterious prediction of murder in Kokomo, Indiana.
Do you have somebody threatening to murder you? Do you have someone kicking in your bedroom door?
Did she call out her killer?
I've been choked out 5 times to unconsciousness.
Before it happened?
And TikTok needs to know. Help me!
For the last 7+ years, I've dedicated majority of my life to one thing. Solve the unsolved. Here's a little bit about me. I'm from Carroll County, Indiana, in the backwoods of Delphi. And on February 14th, 2017, my life changed. 2 girls were brutally slain in my hometown. And I'm on the hunt for answers. Together, with you, I've developed a true crime community of individuals who are dedicated to finding justice and to be a voice for the victims of unsolved crimes. My name is Anthony Greeno. This is True Crime Investigates. Coming up tonight on True Crime Investigates, the Delphi murders. The drama continues. YouTubers hit the hot seat after allegations fly in court documents filed by Richard Allen's defense team's defense attorney. Did these men have evidence in the case before it was publicly released? YouTube videos of true crime creators are expected to be played in the contempt hearing for Baldwin and Rozzi, but here's what you can expect to see tonight. Intertwined podcasting host Jay to give his analysis with a new perspective on the case. And we're joined by the lovely and beautiful moderator, Carly. She's here to shake things up a little. And we couldn't have a good debate on a live stream without the almighty Sterling. Has he become a Loganite? Also, a firearm, a bullet, and a microscope. Guilty of crime host Jay Scott has got her pistol ready, and she's breaking it down. How can a bullet be ejected from a gun? Is ballistic evidence enough for a conviction? You're gonna find out all that tonight, right here, because things are getting heated. YouTubers are firing back. The Loganites have merged with the Baldwinites and Rozziites to become a force of greater evil, known as the Bozolites. A war has begun. Can the Allenites hold their ground, or does it go deeper into corruption? The defense witness list is literally unraveling right before our very eyes. Are they in heat? Because it's getting hot in here. Does David Hennessy have his beer goggles on? And are we witnessing these men working side by side secretly for the prosecutor? Has the master plan been exposed? What did they all know? And how did they all know it? But the question is, who leaked it? The Allenites or the Bozolites? The Murder Sheet podcast hosts are responsible for leaking information like crime scene photos and various court documents to the public over the course of 2022 and 2023, and then using their friends in the media business to make it look like they uncovered the stunning information. Keegan Kline says they paid him to push a sensational story that wasn't all the truth. The scandal is up for one of the most generic podcasts on the planet. Comb your hair, dude. And with a freaking intro like that, you know it's gotta be good. What's going on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, or wherever the hell you're watching from with an intro like that? Damn it, you know it's gotta be good. Right now, joining me live is Jay from Intertwined Podcasting. What's up, dude?
Yo! That was such a sick intro, dude. Holy.
Thanks,
I was
dude.
killing myself. Holy crap.
That's funny. All right, check it out. I got Marv, I got Guilty of Crime, and I have Carly, everybody. What's up?
Yo.
Hey.
What's up, YouTube?
Bozolites.
The Bozolites.
Love it.
Oh,
we have J1 and J2.
J1, J2.
Which one's one and which one's two?
Intertwined and Guilty.
I'll take number 2.
Oh, don't do yourself like that. Fine, I guess I'll take number 1. If I have to.
So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to talk a little bit about firearms, and we're going to continue basically a conversation that happened from last night. Guilty of Crime Jay was not here to join us, but she was in the chat because she just got off a live stream. And if you haven't seen a video that was presented already, I'm going to pull that video up here in just a second and show you guys what it is, because Jay, you want to explain what you did in the video before, as I pull it up here?
Yeah. Are you pulling it up right now? Okay. So basically, well, you and I were having a conversation, and well, the whole world, about Delphi and the magic bullets and how the bullet landed in the leaves magically appeared. So that's not really how it happened. So in the video, I show everybody, and should I talk about it, visualize it, show it?
Whatever. I mean, if you want to, yeah.
So
here, you know what? I'll pull you. You go ahead and talk.
All right. So we're gonna show this in the video. This Smith & Wesson 9mm. No magazine in there. Don't worry, everybody. I'm licensed, registered, safety, all that. So I don't want to hear anything about any of that. So in the video, we're going to show this particular gun, 9mm, nothing in the chamber. Okay. Nothing, no magazine, nothing in the chamber. We're going to show how the bullet can fly out. It actually doesn't fly out, but we're going to show when you put a magazine in and you cock it back and then you decide not to shoot it, how it's going to eject into, it can go 2 feet, it can go 3 feet, it can go right by your feet. So we're going to do that. We're going to show this. We have the clip here that actually goes in it, and we're going to show how it ejects. We're going to show that in the video, and a pretty fresh box of bullets. So we're going to get into ballistics, I think, on the next one, so we can actually show you how it looks when there's a fresh bullet versus an ejected bullet, and the markings from the gun when it comes out versus a bullet that has markings just from the manufacturer. So we have bullets, we have guns, we have multiple guns. Here's an actual Sig Sauer. I always want to say Sawyer. Sig Sauer. So they used Richard Allen had a 40, and this is just a 22 Sig Sauer. But we're still going to show that. And there's there's a magazine in it, and there's nothing in the magazine. So we're going to talk about that and different guns, ballistics, and how a magic bullet isn't so magic.
Exactly. That's awesome. You know what? That's really cool, because we had this idea. We're like, you know what? If you have a firearm, you could actually run this test and we could try it out and collaborate. And that's the whole idea behind this, is try to figure out. A lot of people have questions. Is that even a thing? Is it possible that the bullet would be scratched? How would the cops know? We're not scientists, but we're going to conduct a semi-scientific experiment by doing this.
You don't know that. I might be a scientist.
Yeah, in our own way. Yep. So that's what she's going to do.
Yeah, keep your always keep your finger off the trigger. Never have a magazine in, everybody, and always make sure the chamber is cleared. Now, in the video, you're going to see that, and this could have happened in the Richard Allen case. You're going to see that I actually forgot, because I was filming, that one got stuck into the chamber. A bullet got stuck into the chamber, and a second bullet ejected when I was clearing the chamber. So I went to clear the chamber, and I was like, oops, there's a second one. So that's a good possibility when you're committing a crime, that you forget that there's another one that's going to come out. The bullet drops out and you didn't pick it up. So there could have been one bullet that he picked up, or he could have just left it. Now, if you're looking at a bullet in the leaves, you could see this. I wouldn't be able to really see this too well in the leaves because I can't see that well. But when it comes to I'm wearing thick glasses, but I can't see that well, this color versus the leaves. So there you go. He might have ejected one. He could have ejected two, and he left it there. All right.
You're right. All right. So that's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the test, ladies and gentlemen. So what she's going to do is we have two firearms. Okay. Firearm number 1 and firearm number 2. And we also have bullets A, B, and C for firearm number 1, and bullets A, B, and C for firearm number 2. And what we're going to do is she's going to film what they look like coming out of the box, brand new, and look at them under a device to see if there are any markings on the bullet already, and mark them down and write down each one. Okay, this is what we got. This one has these marks. This one has this mark. This one has this mark. And then take those bullets, run them through the clip or through the magazine. Yep. Run it through the magazine. Load it, and then eject it from the chamber, where each one, and then look at it again and see if there are any markings that we can visibly see on our own that would say which bullet came from which gun. Okay. And we'll be able to tell if they're different or not. So that's what we're going to test out.
Absolutely. I would say that they're about as different as a fingerprint. When you look at the markings on a bullet and you look at your fingerprint, That's what it looks like. Each one's going to have a different print on it, depending on how many times you shot it, what the damage is. If you cleaned your gun, you didn't clean your gun, they're all going to look different. So you're not going to get two of the same.
You will. You won't get two of the same. You could have two identical guns, two identical bullets.
But they're going to have, they're going to have the same markings from that same gun, but it's just like a fingerprint. You could do your fingerprint once and do it twice. Same fingerprint, but right.
You're right. Let's do you want to watch that video? Let's watch that video that you did.
Yeah.
All right. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome.
Hello, everybody. This is Jay with Guilty of Crime. Now, I wanted to do a test today with my actual 9mm gun and show you, first of all, how a gun works. I want you to see the bullets before they go in, what they look like in a box, out of a box, loaded into the clip, and then discharged when you do not actually shoot the bullet. So, when you don't shoot the bullet, but you cock back the gun, you have to pull it forward and the bullet will come out, but it will have markings on it. I do not have a magnifying glass, so I can go deeper into this as the topic grows. I can do any kind of testing that anybody wants to see, but for right now, I want to show you what the gun looks like, the bullets, and how it works when you cock back a gun and you decide you don't want to shoot it, and then you pull it forward to let the bullet out. There's going to be a marking, but the most important thing I want to show you is what happens when you decide not to shoot and you put it back to its natural state and where the bullet goes. It's actually going to drop down somewhere at your feet or near the area. It's not going to go very far. So I'm going to focus on the gun and the bullets, and then I'm going to show you it in action without actually shooting it, of course. So here we go. Let me flip this around. Hopefully I can flip this around. If not, I'll just turn it around for you. Here we go. All right, so there it is. I'll get a shot. There are bullets in a box. Bullet, brand new, inside the clip, and then the gun. Now, let me show you what happens when I load the gun with the bullets. Now, when I load the gun with the bullets, you're going to see that it's going to pull it into the gun, but it won't shoot. So here we have 9mm Smith & Wesson, nothing in it. Pull it back. Always make sure the chamber is cleared and you're not pointing at anyone. Since there's nothing in it, there's not going to be a bullet in it, but there is the hole where the bullet will come out when I decide not to actually fire it. Okay, now I'm going to take the clip and put the clip in. Now, if I planned on using this to do anything to scare someone, or even if I was going to fire and then I'm at a firing line and they say cease fire and they make me stop, I have to clear my gun and my chamber. So now I'm going to pull it like if I was going to shoot the gun. I always want to keep my finger off or from the trigger. You can keep it like this, never have it near it. I keep it like this, it's comfortable. So here we go. I'm going to pull this back the best I can show you. Here we go. Now, this is going to bring a bullet from the clip into the chamber. Now, I am ready to shoot. Okay? I'm ready to shoot, but I'm not going to shoot the wall or anything in my house. So, I decide I don't want to. Here we go. I need to let this out, and then I'll let go of the clip. Okay, I don't want to shoot. Here we go. It just ejected out. I'm going to put the gun down and show you where it ejected to. It's about 2.5 feet away from me. And here's the bullet. Okay, now we have the bullet. You can see it. it came from that gun, fully intact, everybody. Fully intact. Now, if I go further into this, if anyone's interested, there will actually be marks from the gun that you can see came from that specific gun under a microscope. It will match to the next bullet. So, I have the gun again, fully loaded, clips in, everything's good to go. Now, if I want to drop the clip, I can easily drop the clip down by doing this, pressing the button and ejecting it. Now, there's nothing in it. I open it back up. Oh, wait, there was something in it. Now it just fell back out. Oh, no. If I'm in the middle of a crime, I didn't even know that. Now I have a second bullet that fell out, maybe in the leaves somewhere. Maybe in the leaves of where two little girls might be, or anybody else. So now I have two bullets that have markings, and I didn't even know that second one was going to come out like that. It dropped, and I went on with my day, or I ran away, or I did whatever. So I have two bullets that came out. Now I have an empty gun. Nothing in the back, nothing in the chamber. Do you understand what just happened here? I can now pull the trigger and nothing's going to happen. There's no bullets anywhere. But the two bullets that came out are going to have markings. I'll show you real close what the bullet looks like. Now, if I had a microscope, you would see the markings would match the gun. So if you're interested in this content and you would like me to go further, let's do it. I'm into ballistics. I'm into anything CSI. And I'm also into forensics. This is Jay at Guilty of Crime. Please follow me for more information. I'm hoping to put this into a video where we can show you the actual markings from my gun. And it's a Smith & Wesson 9mm. Thank you all for watching. I will probably cut this up and put it into another video.
And now it's cut up and put into another video right now because we're here. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, that was one shot. Everybody, all the
Great
critics, one shot with my freaking cell phone.
That was actually pretty good. I would say you
In
did a
my
really good
kitchen.
job.
Very nice.
You did good.
I didn't shoot anything.
You didn't shoot anything. So that was very interesting. And you know what? It's going to be interesting to see the markings on this to just to what we can see. Right?
Yeah, we're going to figure out how to, like, I know how to get under a microscope, but how to get a good picture of it.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the hard part. But we'll trust your judgment. That's the thing, is we may not be able to see it the best, everybody, but we'll put together a video as best as we can to try to show you what we're seeing, what she sees. And yeah, we'll figure it out. Trust me. We're going to do our best to figure it out. Hey, does this remind you of anything?
What?
Oh no.
Really?
I keep
Marv.
Marv, where are you at? I don't even see your camera. What are you doing?
Keep playing it on a loop.
I knew it. Keep playing it. Aruba. Yeah.
Was it on a loop?
No, yeah, it was on a loop. It was just playing over and over and over
With
again.
that guy just standing there singing my life?
Yeah. Yeah.
The green screen.
No, you're not live.
Yeah, some green screen dude. I had this, so everybody, if you're interested in this, it's funny. So I was playing the Beach Boys just over and over again with this video.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would. But I legally can't. But I've considered.
That's what I played over and over and over again. When she got on her StreamYard, she's like, what the hell is this? It was so funny. I got her. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I also wanted to bring up something and talk about something that was, it happened like yesterday here on this stream, and we don't like endorse the doxing thing on this, and we don't like that, and we don't appreciate what was done yesterday, and we're not going to associate with any of that in any way, shape, or form. But I know Carly wanted to say something about it because she was brought into stuff. So Carly, you can go ahead and
I didn't really want to say it directly. I just want anyone to know, like, I was quite aware that I was being recorded when that went down. I'm just a really sarcastic person. And then I wasn't worried about it, but then I think, oh God, if you like cut up pieces of my conversation, I'm so sarcastic that like it would sound terrible. So anyways, if you hear me, just know that, you know, I'll be waiting with you guys to see what happens next.
It's a Canadian thing.
Yeah, she constantly drives me crazy. You know
No,
what I mean?
dude, like I'm always after him. Like the way that I am with anybody is the way that I would be on live. Like I swear a lot. That's why I don't have a channel. Like I'm a lot. Or I'm
You're a lot.
introverted and don't leave my bed.
You're a good a lot.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. All right, so Carly, what do you think about all this stuff being? I mean, sure, dude. Everybody, we were on the news today. You know what I mean?
Oh Lord.
We were on the news, everybody. Marv, you were on there too. Marv, you're muted.
Everything's just, it's too much.
Marv's
Everything's
muted.
going crazy.
It's too
What
much.
did I miss? What do you mean you were on the news today?
You were on the news too. They were talking about how like we're getting documents and stuff, and how you were like the reading leader, and it's all.
That's so terrible.
No,
do you have any idea what
You're being subpoenaed.
No, but do you
You're
have
being
any idea
subpoenaed,
what
Marv.
part of that video is gonna matter to them?
Yeah.
Like which part?
The part where I say like, share, and subscribe to True Crime Investigates.
Oh, you're such an idiot.
No, I don't. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Did you rewatch it again yet?
Part of it, I watched it on fast motion, but I didn't see anything in there that may have. I don't know. I didn't see anything that made me feel like that's what they would want. You know
They
what I
have
mean?
some kind of narrative they're looking for. I just don't know what. Anyone in chat have any idea?
Who knows?
Maybe I get to come out to
emailed me
Delphi.
and said,
Put me in there. I'll come out there.
Yeah.
I want to go to Delphi.
Delphi.
Me too, dude. Honestly, I want to
Jay,
go out
it's a
there and
trip.
see all this
Actually,
stuff.
book to both Jays. It's a trip.
Yeah.
I think it would just be fun to hang out with all you guys just in person. Like, what would we
Yeah.
get into? All right,
Well,
time to go in court.
probably jail.
Not me.
Hey, there's always CrimeCon. CrimeCon's
We'll bail
coming
you
up in
out.
May.
Yeah.
I
Huh?
know.
CrimeCon? Yeah,
I
it
wanna
is.
go.
In
I want to go
Tennessee.
so bad.
Tennessee, dude.
I want to go to Graceland
Where the hell is this?
and Dollyland.
I want to go to Tennessee.
Dollywood. Dollywood.
Bollywood. That's it. Dollyland.
Dollywood.
whatever.
somebody
Like
said
Bollywood, but Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dolly Parton. Dollywood. It's in Tennessee.
she's awesome. I love Dolly Parton.
Uh-huh. Man, where the hell is that video? I don't know what the video is called, everybody. I downloaded it. Don't know what it's
they
called.
thought you said something about Julie Melvin is friends, neighbors with Doug Carter, and she socializes with him.
Oh God.
I don't think it was that video, was it?
What video? Oh,
He
no,
said it
they
a
know.
couple of times. I have no
I don't
idea.
know. I've said that a bunch. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe what it is. Who knows? It's the truth, though. I mean, that's the truth. So what would they give a shit?
Yeah, but wouldn't that help
Or-
the defense, not the prosecution?
If maybe that's what the defense is wanting. That's why the defense is using it, not the
Yeah,
prosecution.
I feel like it's just mucking up the case even more, man.
Yeah,
like
it's-
what?
Yeah.
Like what does that even have to do with the case? It kind of sucks because it is helping the defense with all this nonsense and all these theories. Not that this channel is nonsense, but I'm just saying, like, why bring that into the case?
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, sometimes I'm nonsense. It depends. Here's that news clip right now.
So weird.
Tonight, yet another twist to report in the Delphi murders case. We are now getting a preview of the evidence that Richard Allen's attorneys plan to present to defend themselves against contempt charges by the prosecutor.
Well, the hearing is now 10 days away.
Rich and I back live in studio tonight with a defense exhibit list that focuses on communication between the prosecutor and also crime podcasters. Rich?
Right, so we need to set up some background here before we get into tonight's story. Remember, the Indiana Supreme Court put Richard Allen's public defenders back on the case, but they still face a hearing March 18th on whether they should be held in contempt of court. Carroll County Prosecutor Nick McLeland argues that defense attorneys Bradley Rozzi and Andrew Baldwin should be held in contempt of court for what he calls a trend of not being completely honest with the court. The prosecutor says the attorneys violated the gag order in the case by issuing a press release December 1st, 2022, proclaiming Allen's innocence. McLeland also points to information, including crime scene photos, leaked to the public through Baldwin's office. Attorney David Hennessy is representing Rozzi and Baldwin against the contempt charges. Hennessy has filed a list of 26 exhibits for the March 18th hearing. That includes communication between the prosecutor and a YouTube crime podcaster named Gary Bodette, shown here on his Fig Solve show. The evidence includes Bodette allegedly sending defense work product to the prosecutor, Bodette revealing investigation information on his YouTube show that was not yet public, and an email where McLeland allegedly asked Bodette to delete everything. Several other YouTube crime podcasts are listed as evidence, including Frank Meister, Anthony Greeno's Crime Nation, and The Inquisitor True Crime. Court TV producer Barbara McDonald's reporting of alleged leaked investigation information is also listed in the exhibits. And this YouTube video called The Reckoning in Carroll County might also be shown in court. All this seems to indicate the defense wants to put the focus of the contempt hearing in Allen County on the prosecutor's actions. The defense also says it received an anonymous call from a woman in Texas just last week claiming to have about 240 pages of leaked documents and agreed to provide them. But the defense says they've only received a few of those so far. So the defense has asked for an extension of the deadline to provide discovery until next discovery just for this March 18th contempt hearing.
So we're waiting to hear a ruling on that.
Correct.
Oh,
good God.
That was
interesting.
Best
Sorry.
God.
That was interesting,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
And
It
of
is. It
course,
was cool.
they show you and me.
Yep. Because you're
That's
part of the
good.
mastermind. That's why you're the mastermind.
Yeah.
Marv made her debut.
You're like
It was
evil
like-
genius
It was like one of
With
those
the-
subtle little things. Yeah. Marv,
with the
it's
bomb
like-
around the neck. You're the evil genius of all of us.
You know, they're moving so quick. I feel it's like it's only a matter of time before I show up.
Mm-hmm.
both
Anybody
me
that's
and
on the
Jay.
show.
Yeah.
Right? J1 and J2.
Yeah.
For no
It's a matter
reason.
of time.
Holy.
Like, we watched one. There's a new
I don't ever want to
podcast.
show up. I show up
Hey,
too much
Becca,
enough as it is.
Charlie, you're showing up pretty soon.
This video
Just
right
your-
here, they're going to be like, there it is. Get
Yeah.
'em.
It's only
Yeah,
your
Charlie-
face, though.
Charlie
just,
drew
just
that
the
photo.
icon.
Charlie
Yeah.
drew that photo.
No
Yeah.
way. I'm Canadian, man. They can't
Me
expedite
too.
me. Well, no,
Carroll
they're gonna call
County
you
can do
too.
whatever they want.
Well,
Yeah.
good luck.
Carroll County will come over there and get you. They're going to be like, listen here, Border Patrol, we're Carroll County. And they're going to be like, holy shit, dude, the dude with Tobe Lesenby, the
Yeah,
mustache
and
himself.
they don't even pay for your flight either, do they? You gotta do
No,
that
hell
yourself.
no.
Okay.
So how is all this going to work? We're going to have this hearing on the 18th. Then doesn't she have to rule on the speedy trial, or is the speedy trial automatic?
No, the speedy trial is automatic. But yes, she has to rule on it, but it's going to be automatic. What happened here?
You hit the wrong button.
I didn't hit it. Oh, this thing hit it. Stupid thing. All right. Yes. No, it's not. The speedy trial is automatic. It's when you file it, it becomes 70 days from the date it was filed.
Okay.
You know, so that would be by like May 15th or something like that. Mid-May would be the trial. 70
Wasn't
days.
that's a whole that all technicality crap, and that's why Lori Vallow didn't get the death penalty. I just had to throw that in there, even though she didn't get the death penalty on the table was because of that. So these technicalities are not real justice, like we talked about the other night. So let's see what happens with this, right? Because I think the defense is just trying to find some technicality to get Richard Allen off on. Sadly.
It is sad. It is sad. No, you have to roll out, don't you? But she'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back in like 20.
Okay. Okay.
Drop
We'll be here.
off. I'll see you guys in a bit. I know you will.
All right.
Somebody in chat said they're trying to point fingers, and absolutely agree. That's the only thing they can do right now.
Right.
They don't have evidence. They don't have any witnesses that they can really pull upon. So they're just trying to grasp at straws and pull fingers.
Yeah. I agree. They're trying to point fingers in a direction where they're screwing around with the wrong people, dude, because I'm not the person that's going to sit there and let them just run over me like that in court, like the Odinist dudes are, where they're just pointing fingers at them and saying that they did this, this, and this, or now they're saying that we knew this, this, and this before it was released, when it's not the case. It's simply private investigations done with public available information that I have obtained throughout by asking questions to people, suspects, cops, looking around the area myself, speculate. It was all speculation at the time. Just because it turned out to be true doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean I knew. It means that's how people could say, and Marv knows I don't believe in psychic, right? That I'm not on that. But that would be like me saying, well, I was psychic. I knew this the whole time, right? I knew this was going to happen. I didn't know, and I can't claim to have known. What I did know is that I thought that was probably the most reasonable thing that happened, period. But I don't even know if they want to use anything I said. But I just want to know what it is, because there was a lot of people on that panel that night.
People don't like logic anymore. They like sensationalism. They want the biggest stories possible, right?
And this is a big story.
It is a big story. But they're trying to blow it out of the freaking water, right? With all this Odinism crap and YouTubers knowing where these people were at certain times, and it's just ridiculous.
All feeding into my theory.
Okay,
so my theory now is that prosecution has a ton of evidence and it's damning. And so basically, the defense is trying to get it thrown away before anything can go anywhere. And if they don't, then the 11th hour plea, like I'm saying the whole time, is what's going to happen. So,
what specific pieces of evidence do the prosecution have?
We don't know.
We don't know, because we're just the general public. But I'm just guessing that that's what's going to happen. That's my theory. Everyone's got to have a theory, right?
What gives you that impression, though? That
literally the way the defense has been going at this case the entire time.
Right.
Like all the hyperbole, like it's crazy. It's so convoluted. It makes no sense. Like even if you know what's happening, you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, they've planning reasonable doubt, like Dr. Feelgood says, planning reasonable doubt. That's what they're doing. They're detaining everybody's shit with all this crazy stuff. Jim Cook says the murder sheet called y'all out big time. I listened to that episode today, actually. They didn't call you.
What did they say?
No, so the murder sheet is really pushing their limits with everybody else. I mean, so the murder sheet said that Fig Solves is known to just tell everything that anybody says to him. You can't keep a secret. That's what he's known for. That's what his reputation is. And that's not the case of what that is. And then they're trying to say that he was giving the defense work that the defense team was working on to the prosecutor. But here's my question. If he did do that, why did the defense team leak their own work to somebody?
Right.
If they wouldn't have leaked their work to anybody, specifically, like they said, Mitch Westerman and another civilian to review, maybe that information would have never been leaked. We wouldn't have had a Supreme Court hearing. There would have been no crime scene photo stuff. We wouldn't be here today, right now, talking about this. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah,
we would still be talking about the Franks motion.
Yeah, and the trial would be getting ready to happen. It would have been over with. Yep. Actually. Yep. It probably would have been, trial would have been almost over with. Yep. Yeah, Murder Sheet did shit their pants, because you know what, dude? They're the ones who have put all this information out. If you guys go back, I made a thing on Canva today, and I was looking at it, and I never got it finished because I had to finish that video and it took forever to upload. But I was pulling up some of these pictures on Canva of things from the Murder Sheet podcast. And on their podcast, it says Murder Sheet interviews a range of people who have worked with Andrew Andy Baldwin. Then it shows a conversation with Mr. Murder, David Hennessy, who is the guy that wrote this document that we're all in, on August 22nd, 2023. Before David Hennessy was a part of the case. March 2023. An interview with Mitch Westerman on the Murder Sheet podcast. Come on now. The Murder Sheet podcast had all that crime scene information back then, and they have released that shit slowly to the public because they're the only people that have had connections to every single one of those people. Every one of them. They've talked to all of them before all this even came about. How did they interview all these attorneys that ended up being the attorneys of Richard Allen? You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't make any sense. They're interviewing people about the Delphi case, and those people end up appointed as attorneys on the Delphi case.
I imagine they could reach out to them, but it's very unlikely that the attorneys would respond to that. Just some random civilian asking, "Hey, can we interview or can we get some documents from you?" It's like, hell no. Hell no.
Yeah. He's a former attorney, a real estate agent, not criminal. She's a former journalist. Former, both of these things, I say. In their podcast, they say that they are these things. He may be licensed, but he doesn't. He's a podcaster. They're podcasters. You know what I mean? And they are deliberately always trying to attempt diversion away from themselves by making themselves look like they are better than everybody else when they're not. Like, oh, Frank Meister and Anthony Greeno and Fig Sauce, and these are the types of people they are. They hold themselves on a level of here when really they're down here. I mean, dude, the dude doesn't even comb his hair. At least, I mean, come on. He doesn't.
We should make a spotlight video on them.
I probably have, dude. I probably could make 1,000,000 of them. They should join the Unhinged sometime and get all twisted up in that. So, what do you think is going to happen? Because I'm going to file a document with the court on Monday and totally refute the defense team's shit. And if anybody else does that's involved in this, wants to refute it, sign a notarized document and send it to the state to use back against the defense team, I would strongly suggest you do it. And if you need a format, a template to use, I'll give you the template. Frank Meister and Sleuth Intuition were mentioned. They are also, I know that you don't know who that is, Jay, but they were mentioned in this. Does anybody have any idea what they talked about or what their conclusion of all this was? Does anybody know? Has anybody watched that, Marv or Carly? Or either one of you?
I have not, and Marv's not here at the second.
Okay.
So I have to step away for a sec.
Oh,
sorry,
right.
I'm modding all 3 channels right now, so.
Oh, you don't have to mod while you're on the channel. I got this from here.
You got yours, but
I
do
can
you
do it all
also
from
have
here.
Marv's and
Yes,
the
I
other
can.
J's?
I can. When I remove a comment, it's gone from everybody's.
You can do it on Jay's too?
I can be the overseer of everybody's right now. Yes.
Oh, well, god damn it. All right,
the
cool.
overseer.
No, I've been going back and forth to all 3. I'm trying to make sure everybody's good.
Anthony's our shiny golden god.
And honestly, when Anthony talks, I just hear blah, 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 blah. And then he's constantly, did you hear what I just said? It's like I'm in school and your teacher's above you while you're daydreaming.
Hey, Russ. What's up, dude? Nice picture. What? I'm not even listening to Carly. Was she talking?
Oh, he's so funny.
Okay, so repeat the question. What do we think's gonna happen in regards to what?
What do you mean?
You asked the question. What do you think's gonna happen?
Oh yeah. So what do you
what do I think's gonna happen with this?
Well, I don't know. I guess I don't know what I was asking. I don't remember. You guys got me off track.
Ask better questions.
Yeah, now it's our fault.
Yeah, I know. See, if I lose it, I lose it. I'm too busy reading all this shit.
Oh, you've lost it long ago, sir.
I know.
Lost the plot.
I've lost it all. No, man, I don't remember what the hell I was talking about, guys. Something about the murder sheet and their corrupt. Yeah, contempt. So, are they going to? Okay, that's on the 18th. So that's in 10 days. 10 days away is where that's going to happen.
Okay.
I'll see. It's real easy. You just contact him by, I want to answer that. How do you file with a court if you're in another state? I need to do something similar for a case, but I haven't been able to afford the trip yet. You just file it with that court. They online. That's the best thing they can do. Oh, I was gonna say Frank Meister and them guys. They were mentioned in the case. What do you guys? I mean, something in theirs was mentioned. I wonder what that was. You know what I mean? Other people. There's me, the Crime Nation review. This video right here. So this is that girl. So that is actually, so the Unraveling is also RMC Productions or whatever. And they actually have some good videos on that channel, but that's run by that girl from the Unraveling. And they're going to be called as witnesses in this case for the contempt hearing. They're Loganites, okay? 100% Loganites, all right? And they're Baldwinites and Rozziites. So they're Bozolites. Now, the Bozolites are testifying for the defense attorney. Why? How is that fucking just? They sued the county and lost, and now they're disgruntled and pissed off, and that's what they're doing this for. Not for justice for Richard Allen, because they're disgruntled against the cops.
It's all straws, man. It's a freaking straw man argument. Completely. They're pointing fingers. That's all they're doing. They're pointing fingers because they're trying to find some dirt that's not there.
They're trying to create reasonable doubt too.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah, but this isn't reasonable doubt. They're not trying to create reasonable doubt in this situation. They're trying to create an out for these guys not to be held in contempt and push it all back on the prosecutor.
That would be reasonable doubt. What?
Yeah, but no reasonable doubt for his guilty plea or his guilty trial. But there is no reasonable doubt in this contempt hearing. It's just whatever the fuck the judge thinks.
Yeah.
They don't have to prove shit. That's the thing. In this hearing, they just got to go in there and sound like they did it.
They're trying to create reasonable doubt in the fact that the prosecution is doing the same thing they're doing.
Huh.
But they're not, though.
Well, they're talking to YouTubers.
No, they're not. They didn't. They're okay, but they're trying to say that the information that we got is we knew it beforehand, and that's not true.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a bogus claim, man. They're saying that we did some shit that we didn't do. You know what I mean?
You know that, and I know that.
So
what information are they saying that you received?
Don't know. They're not saying it. They're going to say that in court, which is the bogus part because there won't be a camera in there. I need someone to go to that court hearing.
I have somebody going to that court hearing.
They have to be there. They got to secretly record it. I don't care if the judge says no.
I got a couple people going.
Okay, good. We need to know what happened in that courtroom.
Maybe we shouldn't be saying that on the live.
I know. I want them to. Can you ask them to stop for a picture when they're watching my video, and like just pose like the judge like this and the prosecutor? Like, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Get Richard Allen look all bridge guy like. We'll be like, can we put the blue jacket on him for a minute, please?
Anthony's dying to do a photo shoot with them.
Yeah. Here we are.
Even Heather says it's so stupid. There's no reasonable doubt here.
No, they're going to be found in contempt, I think. What do you guys think? Contempt?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean,
they have colluded with the judge and made threats to the judge. It's documented.
agreed. I don't know if after what happened with Supreme Court, if I just don't know what they're gonna do, what she's gonna do.
Well, I also want to mention this. So they cited so there was a motion filed by the prosecutor. In this motion that he responded to, it spoke about Professor Turco's report. Professor Turco. Now, the document that the defense submitted asking for more funding, that document there is only supposed to be between the defense and the judge to ask for more funding, and they have to say why. And they said in the motion why. Now, McClelland filed a document in response and quoted that motion and mentioned that motion, and he was never supposed to see that motion. How did he get a copy of that if he was never supposed to see it? Did the judge give it to him? Was it in the file? Was it an accident? Did someone else give it to him? Was it a leak? Did Fig give it to him? Yeah, who knows? You know what I mean? Like, that's all the questions that are kind of posed here. I mean, you guys' thoughts on that? I don't know.
Yeah, Harvard Jones says can't take electronics in. Gold destroys phones, smashes them.
She smashes my phone. I'll tell you what, I'd smack her right in the mouth.
No, you would not. Stop it.
You're
You're gonna be like that flying
I'm gonna
guy
smack you in the mouth.
flew at the
Yeah.
judge, remember, in Las Vegas?
Yep, that's me. Super dude.
Yeah, super stupid.
I watched a judge take someone's phone in court once. In my
Yeah, but
court.
to smash it, that's pretty.
No, I'd be
That's
funny.
pretty
I'd be like,
boss.
you know what, dude? I'm smashing that gavel right now.
No, you would not. It's just
Nick said the clerk
savage.
emailed by an accident. Well, the clerk did it. So the clerk, another clerical error. There we go. A clerical error. Now the clerk fucked up again, everybody. So now we need to do a thorough investigation. Who the hell is the clerk? You know what I mean? And what's the motive behind them? Find out that the clerk is some secret Odinist. You know, the clerk is Brad Holder.
Oh my god. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode. They pull off the mask.
I think Anthony's right here. It's a last-ditch effort, an act of desperation on the defense's part, so that they don't get removed or sanctioned.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to be sanctioned anyway. It's up to her. I don't think that I don't think the judge is going to sit there and not hold them in contempt. I think she's got her mind made up and it's over with. I think they're going to go in there and plead whatever they plead. And she's going to be like, yep, nice. Well, YouTube videos, nice. Guess what? We're out of here, dude. You know what I mean? It's just interesting that they're using it. Why? To mention people.
Look at everything that's going on with the judge in Florida and what the hells.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
So they're almost taking a play out of that playbook by bringing in YouTubers. Yeah.
Yeah, but what are YouTubers going to do? Look, I think the prosecution can prove bias on part of the unraveling.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what are they going to go in there and defend this and it's going to be credible? What's the deal here? Who the hell's Matt Hoffman? What?
How would it be credible?
That's what I wonder. And that's what the defense team seems to think, that they're credible. And I can find plenty of reasons to say that they're not credible to testify in a hearing about contempt, because they're secretly trying to hire investigators to follow around the prosecutor. A girl who knowingly says this, openly says this.
It's not a secret, ain't it?
No, it's not a secret. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. There's videos that were posted online that was showing the things that they were talking about. And it was gross. Like, just the way they're trying to handle it. Like, they're trying to get a murderer off just to be spiteful at cops. Does anybody else have a problem with that out there?
Yeah. Shane says, I think all it's heard his confessions and her mind is made up. Could be.
I hope that he's found guilty in the next, who knows how long, 20 minutes.
I just think it's interesting that he gave the confessions to his wife and not the police.
That's because, oops. What the hell happened?
Oh, where'd I go?
You're there. I don't know where you're at.
He's hiding.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm hiding. Yeah.
Shane is always disappearing.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Okay, half the time it's because my freaking headphones are peaking. Anyways, yeah, there's not much of a hearing to be had there. It's gonna be
smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Well, so I hope they go. I want them off the case, gone for good, forever, no more, no more.
I want them all off the case.
Yeah, but I don't want the judge off. I want the judge to stay. That way we can just like look at everybody at the end and be like, yeah.
No, but I think it would be fair if we're gonna just remove everybody, start fresh from the very beginning without all this.
Fair in what way?
Without everything else.
What is the judge done?
She ain't done shit.
it's not about what she's done. It's just about public perception, everything else. Because no matter
that
what happens, I feel like this
I
is never going to be over. Even
I
if he
disagree.
confesses, it's not going to be over. Even if he gets
I
innocent, guilty.
disagree that it doesn't matter about what she's done, because if she hasn't done anything to screw up the case, then I absolutely think she deserves the right to be kept
I'm
on the
speaking
case.
public perception.
Yeah, but
And
public
the
perception
YouTubers
doesn't matter in
and the
terms of the
channels.
law.
Well, apparently they do because they got subpoenaed. So
Yeah.
Well, no,
they're
that's
using
different
it.
because the defense is subpoenaing people that they think are connected to the case in a crime perspective, not public
hey, I get
public
it. And
perspective.
personally, I'd like Gall to stay on too. But I'm saying, for the sake of everything, fine, start fresh. Start absolutely fresh and see where we get to.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we
Marv,
should
you're
start
muted.
fresh. I know Mark's muted. I don't think we should start fresh at all. I think we should just move on, get rid of them. Let's go. Let's get this dude convicted at the next 70 days. Get him out of there. Take him out back. And that's it. You know, no more. And then this is over with. And then I can rest my head finally for 7 years.
Yeah, but what if he gets acquitted
And then I'll take
because
over.
of all this?
Then he gets taken care of outside of that because people, I mean, there's nobody going to let him just walk around like that.
No.
Because
absolutely
these people interfered in the case and caused that to happen. The community, they're not gonna go for that. Those people, look, there's already people in prison that are probably just waiting to get to that dude, that are just waiting for the trial to happen, and then they're gonna go after him. And they're not.
Yeah, but look at Casey Anthony. I thought for sure somebody was going to deal with that.
Casey Anthony's not from Indiana, though.
You think that makes the difference?
That makes a lot of difference because people are just now calling all this corruption and stuff, but that's just the way Indiana is. This isn't new to me or anybody else. Everybody else in the world that's out there freaking out like, oh my gosh, look at the way they operate in court. Dude, I've been through this and done this bunch. And that's just the way it is. And it's just finally coming out to the world because of cameras in the courtroom and shit in Delphi.
Indiana isn't this big city that nobody knows anybody, nobody really cares about anybody. Indiana is this small farm town that takes care of their own. So
Indiana's a state.
Yeah, we're
talking about Delphi.
Delphi. Delphi is this little town that everybody takes care of their own. And I'm speaking not because I know, but because that's how Anthony's explained it. And so you have this town where people take care of their own. Richard Allen, if he's let free, if they somehow find that he is innocent, he's not going to be safe out in public. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Hey, Mike Tyson wasn't even, Mike Tyson got arrested in Indiana. They don't care. Jared from Subway, they put him away for life. You know what I mean? Like, Indiana doesn't play. They don't care who you are or what you think. They will just drop you. And you know what I mean? Like, they'll put you in prison. They don't care. And
well, I mean, for some of it, I'm really happy about, like Jared from Subway, the stuff that he did.
Yeah, true.
And they're very serious when it comes to murder and stuff like that. No, but no, he did not do that.
What did he do?
Kids,
he's a pedophile. Yeah, he's a Keegan Klein.
Yeah, he's the Keegan.
He's a Keegan
Hey,
Klein.
maybe they were buddies.
Yeah, he's feeding him.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
how ironic. Yeah, I know he did. So like Keegan Klein moved to that prison. I don't find that uncommon for him to move to that specific prison because that specific prison is for chomos. It's meant for that. I don't seem to think that there's any big difference with that. The people that are talking about that in the chat, I don't see anything in there that says that there's more of a reason for him to move there other than that they have for offender programs for that type of crime there. Yeah. Chadwell got life too. He got 91. He has to serve 70 of it.
70? Awesome.
70. He's done. He ain't getting out till 21 something. It's crazy.
Really? So like he can't get out on parole earlier or whatever?
No, they don't do that. They don't do that. You have to serve 85% of your time.
85,
then you're eligible for parole for that kind of crime. Yeah, then you're eligible, but they don't ever. I mean, they probably die before that happens. You know what I mean?
No, I'm so happy though that there is somewhere that's actually, hard on that type of offense. Most other places just slap on the wrist and they they're out, they can do
Yeah.
it again.
But
Because
we have
that you
a
can't fix. You cannot fix that.
problem with chomos though. They don't really smash them with a lot of. You hear about some things and it makes it look good, but in reality, man, they let those people. They give those people probation and try to rehabilitate them more than they do the other
really?
people. Oh yeah, dude, it's bad. And anybody that's in the system is like, man, why are these dudes that are getting in here for like chomo shit getting out of here before we are? You know what I mean? And they're in here for something, not even. It's not even bad. It's stupid. It's like that don't make any sense. You're gonna let this guy out there because he's now on supervised probation with an ankle monitor, but
Do
you
you
won't
think
let
maybe
these.
though it's because of the exposure that things are getting now that like they're, on the news now, channels are covering it, YouTube's covering it. So do you think the officials have more pressure?
I don't know. I think that they could have more pressure onto him now. I think Indiana definitely has been put into a spotlight where they're
Because like let's do a series.
what on what
Let's do a series on chomos and like, hey.
chomos. Yeah, we could do a whole series on chomos.
Definitely cracking down on them more now that everything is public.
In Indiana, they are. They're making it more public. It's becoming more because they didn't have cameras in courts or anything like that before,
Right.
and since all this stuff started happening, news started getting involved, and YouTubers were getting involved, and like we were really going to the ground hard at like asking questions to the cops at press conferences and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like because of that push, people came out from everywhere. You got YouTubers all over. Look at you guys. You guys weren't YouTubers before you met, or you know what I mean? Before you came involved into this case. Jay kind of, but I mean, he's still kind of getting involved in it. That means
Doesn't feel good once you'd explain chomo.
Child molester.
I'm like Chester.
Yep, is what that means. Chomo. That's what that means.
We have to say it that way for YouTube.
Yep.
Unless you're Anthony and he just goes right for it.
Just like we say unalived instead of the M word.
Yeah, we're totally all
Poor
back.
Jay from Guilty of Crime. Literally, she had like 45 comments about that. She had a shorts because she said unalived, and people are like, "Why? It's murdered, lady. It's murdered."
Yeah, well, tell YouTube that.
Yeah, that's what she said. She's like, "I don't know what you want me to do."
I know. People do that all the time. They try to correct what we say on here, and it's like we're just people. We're not news reporters. We're backwoods as backwoods can get, son. And sometimes
we make a whole whopping $2.30 on our videos.
Yep.
It's so true too.
We're
I totally thought we made a
away.
lot more, and then I'm like, because I can manage the channel and I can see like how much like is made from a live, and I'm like, you did that much work for like 48
$2.30.
$2.30 now. That's why we appreciate the donations, everybody. Speaking of that, if you're interested in making donations, make donations to our channels, which I don't know what all the links are, and I couldn't tell you. But
okay,
there's my description.
I don't have Marv's updated
each
PayPal.
channel is in the description.
Oh, I get it.
You got
okay, you do your PayPal. I got Anthony and Jay.
Look, she's still moderating, and she's live on like do this, do that. Usually when we're like when she's over at my house, it's like I'm usually saying like do this, do that, and she's doing stuff for me. It's not usually this way around.
Oh, shut up! I do nothing for you.
Whatever. You're funny.
I had to change my PayPal link, so here it is.
Yeah.
Yep. So Guilty of Crime will be back shortly, and we'll talk some more. I want your guys' opinions on the bullet thing.
I got a drawing that I want to do real quick.
Okay.
Because I've fired a fair few guns in my life, and I know how this sort of works. So I'll draw it out for you guys.
Awesome.
Okay.
Right now?
Yeah. If I can find the freaking screen.
Hey, Anthony, where's Sterling?
I don't know, man.
Where is Sterling?
No, because we need to get Sterling up here, and then Jay, and then we can have the girls versus boys.
Yeah.
They'll lose.
Yep.
Whatever.
Okay. Here it is. It's on there.
I got you. I see it. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, as the bullet is ejected as the casing is ejected from the gun, there are striation marks that come from
Marv, are you
the
typing
top
again?
of the chamber.
Yeah, sorry.
What the heck, Marv? I'm explaining.
Yeah, you guys, listen up.
Okay, so striation marks come at the top of the chamber. There's a little edge, and the bullet gets ejected out of the top of the gun, right? Out this, or rather, out the side. And so when you eject it, it hits the top of the chamber. The chamber is the part where it's loaded into where the firing pin hits the primer. The primer is on the back here, right? It's a little piece. So when you eject a bullet, there's going to be some striation marks. And if we were able to see the actual bullet at the crime scene, it would look something like this, right? Where the edge of the chamber scrapes along the side of the bullet. They're microscopic, but it's still visible under a microscope, right? There's just going to be little scratches. And that's all.
Jay, is there going to be any type of indentation or anything at the very end of the bullet? Put that back up, Anthony.
It depends.
Where your arrow is, where it would hold the bullet?
No, so
that'll bust.
Only if it's fired. So when okay, so here's a firing pin, right?
Right.
Excuse my drawing. I'm not an artist, but that firing pin, when you pull the trigger, the hammer, there's a little piece called the hammer. It'll push the firing pin. It slams into the firing pin. The firing pin slams into the primer, and the indentation will be on the primer cap.
Okay.
And that's what starts the ignition of the bullet. In this case, the bullet was ejected, so this whole mechanism isn't active, right? It's only the casing sides.
Okay.
Right?
That's good to know. That's good to know.
So if there were any markings here, then that would indicate that he tried to fire it, but it was a dud, meaning it didn't go off. So he cycled it, meaning he ejected the round, and it spilled out onto the ground. And that would be an entire intact cartridge.
Okay. You got it.
Yeah.
You nailed it, dude. What's that? Richard Allen's statement was misfiled after meeting with DNR officer Dan Doolin, the FBI, and Delphi investigators never saw it. Richard literally didn't exist as far as the investigation was concerned. That's right.
And then it says, how could investigators frame RA with a bullet in the first week when they didn't even know who he was? He wasn't even discovered in their system. He wasn't on their radar at all.
You're right. That's exactly how could they frame. Now, what the people are saying is that they went and planted the bullet afterwards. But how did they just make it match his gun? Like, that's the good point. So they just went and planted a bullet. Okay, let's pretend that this whole thing that Barbara McDonald said is actually accurate, right? They unsecured the crime scene. This is all false, ladies and gentlemen. They unsecured the crime scene. Then they left, and then they came back a few days later and then found the bullet, we'll say. So during that time frame, someone had to, since Richard Allen said he'd never been to that property before, never let anybody use his gun, someone had to sneak into his home, steal a bullet, cycle it, run back out there, and drop it at the crime scene, take some videos or whatever of it for the crime scene photos, and then be like, we found a bullet, everybody. It's this dude from CBS. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, they found it right away.
I mean, it could have happened if they arrested him right away. Then you might have had some kind of ground to stand on. But if they were going to set him up, they're not going to wait like years to arrest him.
Yeah, we're going to wait 5 years right before the election happens just to do this. And we'll make everybody, we'll blow it up and make Carroll County receive all sorts of money for the trails, and we'll use it all. And
yeah.
I mean, it's that
probably going to be
happen.
some bullshit answer like, "Oh, it was a training exercise gone wrong."
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. So they're going to have a speedy trial in no time, but the speedy trial is going to be delayed, I believe, everybody, after this contempt hearing, because if they get kicked off or something happens, that's it. There's going to be, I mean, I don't understand what could happen, that could cause this to be so pushed back anymore, but something could happen if they get kicked off. Do you think they're getting kicked off? Yes or no, Carly?
No.
Marv?
No.
Jay?
Hopefully.
Okay.
But
Ooh.
I don't know.
I know.
Abby's 9 is right. Why would they do an unspent round then? Exactly. Why, if they had the gun, they could set him up. They would just
weren't
shoot
shot.
the bullet.
They
No, they
weren't
would just
shot.
shoot it, and it's a lot. There's a lot more striations and stuff on a shot bullet than an ejected one. Correct.
Oh yeah, that bust out. Well, I mean, it would still have the things on it, but yeah, it would be shot. It would have they'd be able to tell it if they found the bullet. You know what I mean? Which they could easily do.
Well, and a couple people have made good points. The bullets do have numbers on them, right? Like identifying numbers. So if
they've got tracking numbers.
If it matched what he had at his house.
Oh yeah, with the bullets.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they're all linked. They're all linked to a certain production box, right?
Yep.
So
you know exactly where it came from.
Every round is stamped with a number, so it fits into a certain box, and there's lists of for this specific reason, so that law enforcement can go find the bullet, and it makes it easier for them to trace a bullet.
Yep.
Do we know if he went to any firing ranges, stuff like that? Just
no, we don't know anything about the dude. That's the problem.
Not us,
Nothing.
but I mean,
No, I mean we don't know.
Law enforcement check it out because maybe
No.
they could check this. I don't know.
I'm sure
what
they
could
did.
try.
I'm sure they tried after he had a permit and see if he'd used it to identify himself anywhere.
No,
all
but
that stuff.
maybe he shot in his yard, or maybe there's a specific not park, but a place in a forest that he used to shoot, and maybe they could dig up some of the bullets and see the numbers
I'm
and
sure there is.
stuff that's on it.
That'd be hard to prove because if you went to the woods and shot anything and it wasn't on someone's private property that could be narrowed down to him, you could make the claim that anybody.
If it's on his property,
yeah, but he would have shot right there.
And they did a search and found him.
Used bullets on his I don't think he would have shot on his property based on the housing location. Carly,
Yeah,
really?
that's true. I've been.
Yeah,
there.
he's around all sorts of houses. There's no way if he would have shot a gun, someone would have called the police.
It's like
in a
me
heartbeat.
shooting a gun here.
Yeah, there would be if you guys live with houses around you in your neighborhood and stuff, walk out to your backyard and shoot a gun and see what happens.
No. Although I can shoot.
Don't
a BB
actually
gun.
do that.
I can shoot a BB gun out the back and nobody will say a word. But I have awesome neighbors.
Yeah, guilty of crime. Jay is back.
Hey, girl, hey.
What's going on?
Welcome back.
What's up?
Other Jay moved to the side for some reason.
We're
Look
talking
at
about bullets.
What are you doing?
Yes.
Bring me back.
Bullets.
We're back.
He's all off to the side by
Yeah,
himself.
I know.
He's been put in the corner.
I know.
Time out.
I'm trying.
He's
to
actually in the corner.
Yeah.
He's in the corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
He's in the corner.
He's in the corner.
What?
In this corner.
What happened?
There's
you
little
fix
shit.
Drama?
Do what? Drama?
No, we're talking about bullets.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I
okay.
just drew a picture.
Ooh,
A
let's
kind of
see.
outlining. I got rid of it, but I essentially drew out what would happen when the bullet was ejected, and we talked about the primer cap and how the mechanism that actually fires the bullet versus ejecting.
The
And so-
firing pin.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. The
So we
firing
got
pin,
really
the hammer.
technical.
Yeah, we got technical, and
Very
I just
cool,
sort of give
and I
a
missed that.
visual demonstration. Here, I'll do it again.
Very cool.
So
we
yeah,
went all the way inside. Go ahead. Sorry.
we just checked out everything and we were just talking about different things. Do you think the attorneys are going to get kicked off?
Well, they did once. They did once, and they're brought back. So who's it going to now? Is it going to the upper?
Judge
Supreme
Gall.
Court?
Judge Gall.
I think that they should, and so I'm going to say that just because I think they should. Yes.
Are they going to take it to the Supreme Court again?
Supreme
if they
Court.
do?
That's a good question. So
It's over with. Can't do that no more.
if they can't do it anymore, then the answer is no. But I do think they should be kicked off. I think that they messed up royally in doing that. I mean, that's just something you shouldn't do. You shouldn't leave pictures up or do anything, right? Do anything that put pictures out and then let someone take a picture of it and accidentally leak. even if it was an accident. So Judge Gull, I don't think likes them anyway, even though I don't think we're supposed to say that. But I think she's going to kick them off.
She appointed them. That's the thing.
She did.
Everybody forgets.
Yeah.
She put them on.
It's not that she doesn't like them, but she's following the law. She's following the rules, and people are just thinking that she's gunning for them. I don't know.
That's because they've done some really stupid crap.
Agreed. Agreed. That was the best way you could say
leaving evidence open for anyone to come wander through.
We all know that, right? Don't do that.
Hey Jay, guilty of crime. Todd says we didn't talk about the extractor and extraction marks on the shell casings.
Because we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet. We haven't
up.
gotten to. I didn't want to go any further without talking to Greeno and see what direction we were going to go in. He's the boss, remember?
No, you're the boss.
Greeno's not the boss. I'm the boss.
Oh yeah, you're the master, evil genius.
Yeah.
So who is that, Todd? Yeah, we have to get some people on here that actually shoot guns as well, that can come and talk about that too. Because I feel like there's a lot of people that have opinions of it.
You know who you should interview, Jay?
Who?
Jay,
who?
Guilty of crime, Jay.
Oh, okay.
Well, you broke down the video already, Jay. So you should interview Catherine Schweit. She's the head of the mass shooter program of the FBI.
Oh yeah.
That would be amazing.
Gun. I interviewed her once, so I can give you her contact information, how to get a hold of her. She's totally gun. That's a gun girl all day long, and she's
that would be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had pretty positive feedback from other YouTubers when I asked them if I can use their content or just chill with them. They're pretty nice, so I'm hoping to have an interview on my channel soon, and that would be an amazing one. I'm not an expert, but I do shoot guns. I am licensed. I have them, and I've been doing it for a long time. So all the critics, you can't be too critical because most people don't even know half of that. So
yeah, you're right. So like everyone also says, Richard Allen, someone made a comment. It was like Richard Allen went in and because he's not guilty, he walked in and told them what he was there that day because he's not guilty. Well, he also didn't know he was on a videotape either, right?
Right.
Someone had commented that. Most killers do that. They implicate themselves right into it. Look at Stephen McDaniel.
Yep.
Well, his car was close. There was people out there. He had to have seen other people pass. And most people, most people are in plain sight. Look at Ted Bundy. He was at Koberger law school studying the law. I mean, they intertwine themselves into it. So I don't know why people would say that. Yeah, intertwined.
Intertwined.
But you know what, though? I think the thing about the bullet, I didn't really get to talk about that. I don't understand how that could be there with his markings from his gun that was ejected, unless it was planted, like people say. But how did they get
we were
that?
talking about that, but why would they plant it but then not arrest him for years?
Right.
That's another thing. But how would they even plant that? Did they go in, get his gun, eject it, and then put it there? I mean, they're gonna have to show that evidence.
I just said that. Yeah, literally.
That's a lot of what ifs.
Yeah, and
I mean, those are conspiracy theories.
They are conspiracy
wild
theories.
Ones.
What we were just talking about before you came back on was the fact that, okay, let's pretend that they did unsecure the crime scene and all of a sudden resecured it again and they found the bullet the second time. Still, he said no one ever borrowed the gun or had the gun. So that means someone went into his house, stole it, cycled it, and dropped it out there and said, look, we found it.
And went and put it back where it belonged.
Yeah.
All without being caught.
Yeah, and then
also,
put the gun back.
Does anyone know the truth that so they didn't find it on the first day? Is this true? I keep hearing different stories. Did they really they found it when they were there? They didn't like unsecure everything and then come back and say, oh, here it is, right? So it's okay to find it on the second day or the third day or the fourth day, as long as you're still searching.
From what I'm hearing, it was found that day.
That day, because guess what?
But even
on the 16th, the day that everyone says they left the area, they searched a home, two people's stuff, took 2 Sig Sauer Model P226 handguns. How did they know what handgun to look for if they didn't know what bullet to caliber bullets? And they knew, you know what I mean?
They took Weber's gun.
Well,
Weber's gun, and then they went over and took guns at the Maxwell residence on the 16th.
Right.
And Logan's.
So they knew what gun they were looking for right off the bat.
And you're right, Carly. They're not gonna plant his bullet and then wait for 7 years later. Something else came up and
If they were gonna
tips
do
came
something, it would have
in
been Logan.
Yeah.
They would have gotten Logan's, and just that would have been super easy. He was old. He would have given up.
Why Richard Allen? By the way,
he did it.
That doesn't look like him at all. It's funny. I'm not saying anything about any person, but that overlapping video that we were watching earlier, I don't know if it was on your channel where they showed Ron Logan and the bridge guy.
Oh yes, dude,
it doesn't look like him at all.
No, it doesn't look like him at all. And that lady is like, I don't know, dude. I don't go for that shit. Maybe I always said maybe if she's a forensic artist that draws sketches and stuff like that as suspects, maybe if she got eyewitness account from the eyewitnesses that day that gave her the description and she came up with something, I could go for that. But I can't go for some lady who just watches YouTube videos, sees shit on the internet, and tries to make a determination off a picture from a news site.
Well, there was a few people that did that don't think it's the bridge guy, and it doesn't match to me at all. Like it not close.
Do you think that Richard Allen is the bridge guy though?
Absolutely. I think he's the bridge guy. I can't unsee it, and you can't unsee the bridge, his nose, his features, his I mean, you just can't unsee the body shape, his hips, the way one arm comes out and the other, like same postures. Like you just can't unsee that. And I think when the jury sees that, they're gonna think the same things. So it really doesn't matter what we think, but I think they're going to see that.
I really hope there's a trial, though. I really, 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 really want to hear the actual evidence that they have, like everything. Like I just can't wait.
I just want to hear that. I want to hear the opening statement.
Oh God, Bam. I don't even want to.
You know what I really want out of all this?
That's all.
I want to see the video.
Yeah,
I want to see the whole video. I want to see all 40. Yeah, I want to see all 43 seconds of it. I want to hear it. I want to see it. You know what I mean? I want to see
the ones from the
phone.
phone.
Yeah,
from the phone. 9, the confessions.
Yeah, with the one that pops up down here under me, that video. I want to see all 43 seconds of that. I want to see what she all recorded, what they were talking about, how it all went down. I want to see if there's any indication that she felt like something was getting ready to go down, and that's why she turned it on. They know, we don't. And I want to know what you can see on that video. Can you even see the dude? Because they may be holding that back still and be like, look, man, here's a clear picture of the dude's face in the video.
But they didn't know right away, though. They still didn't. It still did take 7 years, which is interesting to me. What tipped him? What tipped him after that? And the only thing I could think is that when they started doing the whole Keegan Kline and people actually started tipping other things, then his name came back up when they looked at the list of people that were at the bridge that day.
I don't know how that happened. I mean, it just popped back up on that day.
Well, they did say that when they got stuck, they were going to go back and review everything. So maybe that's when it happened.
You said it multiple
times.
Cold
cases. That happens with cold cases all the time. You get, you took the words out of my mouth. Fresh eyes, you look, you're like, shit, I missed that. And he never moved or anything.
He never
was
moved.
There. Like they said, in plain sight.
In plain sight. And they even had the GBI handed it over to them and said, you guys review it and see if you guys can come up with something that we may have missed. And they didn't catch it. So you got the FBI in Indiana. You got the FBI in Georgia taking a look at it. You got, you know what I mean? The president of the United States was briefed on this. You know what I mean? Yeah, and the governor. Like the governor and then the president, you know what I mean? Like they were briefed on these things. The FBI was talking about, I met with the governor and the governor meets the president and they know what's going on. And we got funding coming for this. And it's like, dude, it's that big that they're talking about. We got to inform all these people of what's going on around the world. I didn't know that the president and stuff like that got notified of like crimes and major things, but I guess they do. They do show up sometimes.
I'm gonna tell you this, that they do, because I just did that Lake and Riley case and it got political. And then I said on the video, the president's going to come out the next day and say something. And they do besides that. But this was just like pure one thing after the other, because the Laken Riley and the guy was not supposed to be in the country. He should have been out, and Border Patrols. The next day, Biden came up, and this was just like 2 weeks ago. He came out and made a statement on News Nation and everywhere else. So yeah, it does get to the president, especially when towns, like, it escalates that high and the town's scared and nothing's happening. So that was a direct correlation, though, 2 weeks ago with that case. And sure enough.
That is very interesting. Carrie says it's scary that there are so many dumbass people out there that don't have the common sense to see it and believe all that conspiracy theory defense BS. It is conspiracy theory stuff. What are you making, Jay, from Intertwined? I see you making something.
I'm making more in-depth drawing.
I see it. You guys want to see what he's doing? I'm going to show him what you're doing. Look. Oh, you can't even see it.
We can't see.
Look, everybody, look at that little tiny corner. You look in that little tiny corner in that small little area, everybody.
Yeah. So the thing we were talking about earlier is the tracking numbers. So on the butt end of every bullet is a cartridge number, a box number, and those two will tell you exactly which box the bullet is from, right? Next is the caliber. That's the size of the bullet. The bullet is this part right here. This is the casing. The caliber is the size of the bullet. And this is a model number, meaning what kind of gun it is used
Smith
for.
and Wesson.
Smith and Wesson. So 40 caliber Smith and Wesson out of box A51, cartridge number 9221. Right, and that'll.
I wonder if they found the box, man.
Right?
We don't even know
Well, we were
that
talking
either,
about
right?
kind of like that while you were gone.
Interesting.
Like, what if we found out where he goes to shoot for fun, and if you could find bullets from 5 years ago, and if they would match?
Well, from 5 years ago, it probably wouldn't match the same box. But if he liked to shoot,
the box would be in his house.
Yeah, the box would be in his house, and if they found a Smith and Wesson 40 caliber box with a number A51, then in the 9000s,
they can also go back to the manufacturer and find out when that was manufactured and where those were sent to and who bought them and where the
bought them,
whole
where
load
it was
went
delivered to, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Which store it was out of.
Picked it up at the fucking Tractor Supply stop in Delphi.
He picked it up at the CVS.
It's CVS. They don't sell bullets there, but he probably picked it up at either Walmart or one of the gun places in Lafayette. Probably Lafayette's more likely, or Monticello, one of the other two. He went to one of those. Or he's a Peru guy. He may have went over to Logansport in Peru. You never know. I mean, that's just...
you know, that's evidence that it's good to look at it this deep in, because we don't know that they don't have that, right? If he wasn't a shooter that was shooting all the time and he still has the box like I do, I have some bullets missing. I pulled out of my box left over from the last time, and he didn't even use it. He didn't shoot. Who knows if he was going to shooting ranges. So that is now you got me thinking even more. And what evidence do they have?
And I keep saying,
and if they make it to trial, why do you think they won't, Carly?
They definitely have more evidence. Hey, there was a comment from Dead City Rats. What if the extraction
they
mechanism
absolutely
on that
do.
particularly gun is a stamped piece and leaves marks that are not unique to each gun, unlike barrel striations?
What is the extraction mechanism on that?
Okay, I see it.
A stamped piece.
What is the
marks that are not?
I don't know. It just sounded very interesting.
Okay. So the extraction mechanism. So a lot of parts in guns are mass produced, and so the extraction mechanism is one of those parts. If the extraction mechanism on that particular gun is a stamped piece and leaves marks that are not unique to each gun, then that's not something that they would use.
Then it would match.
Well, no.
No, it would all match. Every single one would that came out of that line.
It would be multitudes of guns. So if you have a stamped piece for a gun, it means it's mass produced, right? Meaning it can be linked to multiple different guns.
And they would probably know that if
Right,
they
but it's
texted
not
it, they'd
just
be like,
the
"Oh,
stamp;
just a
it's
stamp."
but it's also the markings
the
from the gun.
extraction markings and the barrel striations that they would be looking
That's what
at,
I was
right?
trying to say. It's the barrel.
Yeah.
It's a barrel as well. It's not just that. That's why Greeno and I were talking, and it's like you have to go microscopic because it matches up, and it isn't just a stamp. Obviously, it's like a fingerprint. It really is. And
it's like this.
And that's
It's
why
almost
us, the common people, cannot see that stuff. You have to have these powerful microscopes.
Correct. It's almost like,
look at
okay,
all that.
law enforcement uses knives sometimes, right? For example, they'll cut into something to try to figure out what kind of weapon was used on someone. Same concept. Same concept. That that blade on that knife has a specific type of blade, whether it's one of those with the teeth on it, a straight, some hook on it, some weird shape to it. They're able to cut something and say, this is actually what it looks like. Same. You take a banana and you run it through one of those cheese grater or those graters, okay? Same concept. It cuts it a certain way.
Yeah.
Right? I'm trying to break
the
down
only
for
thing
the
about the layman people, to go even further than that, though, it exactly matches like a fingerprint, line for line. It's going to match. Like every little tiny thing that you go around, every groove, every piece just lines up like a fingerprint, and it's such a fine detail. Yeah, when you have a
they're
knife,
extracted the exact same way every single time out of the gun, right? And there's some like this tiny bit of margin for each extraction, but it's not much, right?
right?
So
And they call it junk science sometimes, but
it's really not. It's just a simple it's a simple explanation, right? And so the reason it's called junk science is that it's not in depth, because you can't get much more in depth than looking at the frickin' scratches on a casing. It's not complicated.
It's not complicated.
You need really powerful equipment.
But here's the thing. It gets complicated when you have people out there like attorneys and stuff like that, and experts that completely disagree with the fact.
Yes, and people that don't know that, they don't know the science on the jury, and you're trying to tell them something that's too complex, and then they're like, well, does that even make sense? Is that real? So that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Well,
but
it's not complex. People are just dumb.
Yeah, but it's also who sounds more. It's also who sounds more believable too.
More
That's
convincing.
Really
Yeah.
When it comes down to a courtroom, it doesn't. I don't think people necessarily. Some people don't really give a shit who's really right. They just maybe the defense attorney, maybe it's all women and they find the guy cute. You know what I mean, or something. Maybe it's the other way around.
It's all
Jesus,
women.
really?
And
You think women do that? We're just like,
yeah.
oh, that guy's hot, so like, he's got to be innocent.
Maybe not you, Carly, but
oh, I do
Guys
that
probably
all
think
the
like
time.
that, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, from home. From home, that's different. But
Yeah, from home.
No,
but I
but
don't know.
really, it could be anything. It's actually just theatrics. Being a lawyer is being the best, having the best theatrics in the courtroom. So if you
Look
see
at
the
Jose
most popular
Baez.
lawyers, yes, there's a lot of those guys that are just really good Hollywood actors, and they win the cases.
Like Johnny Depp.
dude, I was just gonna say my favorite trial. Honestly, I want Jay from Guilty of Crime to cover that trial. It was.
I
so
will
much
if you
fun.
do it. You have to get up there too.
Oh hell yeah, I will. It was so much fun to watch, and his
Like
lawyers were just
fee.
amazing.
$15 fee to rent her out.
Of course they were.
Rent me out.
You can't charge. He's trying to be a pimp.
Yeah.
Tragedy
Get
pimp.
arrested.
Good luck, boy. I'm literally
tragedy
trying to
pimp.
rent him out. I'm like, does anybody want to spend some time with him? He's very annoying. So
He's very annoying. It's funny. He's
I'll do it for
annoying.
free.
Yeah.
Just
I love
yeah.
it.
You just gotta
Just get him
go,
away.
Go get him.
What did it say in the intro? Carly's here to shake things up a little. Carly, aren't you done now?
Yeah. Hey, I'm not coming to Seattle, so there you go.
Yeah.
Staying home this weekend.
I know, it's funny.
So I just want to say something about this whole YouTube thing that the defense is trying to use too.
Okay.
you've got to remember that Greeno, Gray, Cat, Randy, they were the original YouTubers, right?
They're all guilty.
They were going off of everything that they were hearing at the time in the groups, Reddit, rumors, and putting things together in their own heads. And then you had people like the Unraveling come on, and other people who are supporting the defense team, and they're giving the defense this information, but the defense is not going back far enough and looking at things far enough on YouTube to see what you guys were originally doing. They're just taking these people's words.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting closer to the trial, so they're trying to make a compelling evidence that
And
he's
create
not the
reason to
guy.
doubt, right.
And sometimes it is. I mean, last time I was on the channel and you had, I think it was Rick, the Delphi After Dark, Rick Snay. Like, I'm so convinced that Richard Allen's the bridge guy, but Rick Snay was so like passionate about it. I almost doubted myself for a minute. So yeah, like, I guess it depends who presents it.
Right, it does.
But no, I 100% will stand by it, and anybody can call me an idiot or a dummy or whatever, that they have the right guy. And it's only him involved. That's my opinion. There's no conspiracy involved.
I agree with that.
Sorry.
I agree with that.
I'm not going to get a conspiracy out there. Where's the other guy that where's
Sterling? I don't know.
Yeah,
I sent him the link. I don't know what he's doing, man. He disappeared. I put him in the intro and everything, and he's gonna. He couldn't take the heat tonight, everybody.
He'll make us have doubts.
He's probably partying.
Chris?
He's probably in here. He's watching.
Well, he wanted me to do a Delphi episode, and I've done 2 in a row, and I haven't seen him in the chat.
You watched. He commented. He got mad that you called him out on it. About not watching anything but Delphi.
Yeah.
He watches.
I barely watch Delphi, honestly.
That's all I watch.
How
is Delphi.
dare you?
I cannot watch anything but Delphi because Delphi has clouded my head for the last 7 years.
Oh, I watched a little bit of everything.
He's like, if you want to be in my life, you need to know this case. And he
I actually said that.
Dude.
I said that.
Oh no.
He
said
did.
that to her.
Damn, he must be
like,
good. You drive to see him. Anthony.
I know.
We all gotta hang out in person.
I know. Do you know how much gas costs in Canada? It's crazy. But at least I can fill up over the border, and I can get some good vapes over there too. So.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of vapes, this guy makes me. Yeah.
I know. I vape on my channel. I don't care.
I know it's unprofessional. I do it on mine too, and
I know
it's not.
What's also unprofessional is using a guy who vapes on his channel on a court document.
Right.
Or maybe they're just trying to prove
doing that.
Never mind.
I know. Or maybe the defense counsel.
What are they trying to prove with that? I missed that because with the court document, I kind of missed what the point is of it or what they're doing.
The point is they're saying that we had information. Good luck. Yeah, good luck subpoenaing me to shit. You know what I mean? They don't want me to go in there because I'll go in there and say the straight truth. They ask me one question, I'm just saying Richard Allen is the bridge guy. He's guilty. Nothing else. I don't have anything else to say. He's guilty. He did it. That dude right there did it. I saw him.
It's Baldwin.
Yeah. It was all three.
Anthony, change up your music.
Why? Do you keep saying that? I did change it once.
Sucks.
Shut up. Damn it.
It's okay.
You have bad taste in music, Carly.
It's background music.
I'm listening to the chat, who's a lot more important actually than
right.
than you. So
get out of here.
You don't.
Chat runs off.
Todd, is
girl power.
I'll put my sensational thing in
Todd
there.
wants the crystal method to like I do.
The what?
Crystal method.
Crystal method.
You're not that young, sweetheart.
Like that just sounds like some Delphi conspiracy shit. Crystal method.
Oh god. Yeah. Only
Crystal
you would
method.
equate that.
It was the Crystal Method party at Ron Logan's where they were listening to Method Man and some girl named Crystal.
Anthony was there filming, having a pig roast. Yes, we all know.
Pig roast.
Robert Pickton was there.
Robert Pickton was there. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You're too young for that. Did you ever go to the site or anything like that?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yes, you. Who else?
I'm not too young for that.
How old are you?
Yeah, how old are
35.
you? We have to know.
You're way too young for that.
No.
Way too. No, I actually
Wait.
went. The
We have a baby
Robert
on the
Pickton.
channel.
He's a baby.
Hey.
For sure he is.
He's not old enough to be in this room. Get him out of
I'll
here.
have you know, I got called sir the other day at a gas station.
Oh,
I get called sir every day by Carly, dude.
I get called sir all the
that.
time.
Fuck you and
You guys
fuck
are fun.
that.
You guys
Good
are
luck to
funny.
anyone who believes that.
Uh-huh. That's so funny. Look,
Oh.
Ron Logan.
Gotta
Where's
laugh
Ron
at
at? Is
yourself.
Ron Logan in here? Is he in here?
He
Is Ron
was.
Logan
He's
in
trying to
here?
sell
Get
goats.
busy.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Jessica?
Ron Logan.
I ain't having
$7
no
goats.
kids.
Get
No.
busy, child.
I'm not having
Anyone-
kids either.
Not yet.
Carly, I
at
thought we
least.
were having a
THC
baby.
vapes.
We are never
Oh.
having a baby.
They look
Isn't
so
that why
cute,
you're
though.
dating, Carly? So you don't have to have
Anthony's
babies?
gigantic
Yeah.
head and your
Right? And I have dogs.
Rest
Like,
of you?
honestly.
Yeah.
I'm too old for that.
Okay, I want you guys to look at this real quick. I'm gonna play
Amen.
this.
These are two different things, aren't they? Insubordination and ineffectiveness.
Under the United States Supreme Court decision in Wheat, the trial court, in exercising her discretion to remove counsel, does not need to find constitutionally defective counsel.
Does not need to find constitutionally defective counsel.
He just
Meaning-
said a whole lot of nothing.
Meaning Judge Gull can kick him off the case if she wants to. That's basically what that boils down to. She can kick them off the case if she wants to. She just has to have a hearing on it. And this is the hearing that's coming up
Yeah.
I don't think she's
When
going
is it?
to.
on the 18th. I'm
Oh,
looking for
10
another
days
video.
away.
Yeah, 10 days away.
Does everybody on the panel tonight think she's going to kick him off, or are we?
No, they don't. None of them do.
I don't think so.
No.
I'm
Why
not
not?
saying they should or shouldn't.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's what's going to happen.
But she did it the first time, and they
Yeah,
overturned it.
and then
so
they
she
went to
don't-
the Supreme Court, and then all that happened. And I think it's just, I don't know, to avoid more.
Avoid more what?
They're just going to talk shit about her.
It's
You talk
never
shit
gonna
about her no matter
end.
what.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I mean, so where does the case go from here? They're going to get kicked off. If they get kicked off, does that mean trial is not going to happen until 2025? Let's start with Jay.
Yeah, probably. Oh.
Yeah. Marv? No, I was talking to
I
you.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marv? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because you're
Uh,
going to have to give the new lawyers time to look at everything.
Intertwined.
They got to get the discovery, and all that has to happen again.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Marv. It's a whole process.
Carly?
Look
Well,
at Chad
P9
Daybell.
said, well, what if state proves that Baldwin leaked it on purpose? Well, if the state can prove that, then yeah, for sure she's going to kick him off.
Oh, yeah, they're gone.
I don't see how they would. Oh, unless that's why the charges might be dropped and that's why everybody's talking. Maybe there's like a deal being made. Maybe.
No way. Sorry,
Oh,
Carly.
no.
Just kidding.
Oh, that's some good music. He's got good music now.
You guys don't even know what it is.
Oh my
I do.
god.
I know exactly
I know
what
what
it
it
is.
is. I know what it is.
Oh, God. Greeno's dancing.
I like
Please
it.
don't.
It's definitely
Please
not
don't.
Beach
Nobody wants
Boys.
you to die.
I feel like I'm guilty of crime.
What crime?
Those moves, though,
Harvard
Carly.
Jones. The speedy trial doesn't matter if the defense team gets kicked off.
Yeah, it
Because
does.
any motion that they made is null and void.
Yeah. The new attorneys will have to take it over and run with it like that.
At Harvard
Right.
Jones, I have no idea like how the speedy trial works.
None of us
Yeah,
know
I
how a
actually
speedy
don't
trial
know.
works. I actually do because I filed for a
No,
speedy
I'm
trial.
saying I don't. I did not
Oh.
speak for you. Anyway.
Harvard
I don't
Jones.
know how it works, but tell us. I don't know how it
No,
works
but
from
Harvard
here,
keeps
like
saying some
after
pretty
all this
cool
shit.
stuff. It's pretty interesting.
Oh.
So I'm listening.
Yeah,
I'm listening
I know.
to Harvard Jones.
Tell us,
I know
Harvard.
how a speedy trial works is you file it, and the date from it's filed, you have 70 days from the date it was filed with the court to have a speedy trial. And if there's something that happens, some crazy circumstance, like the defense counsel that requested a speedy trial gets kicked off the case will be reset because new attorneys will not be prepared to attend trial within 50 days at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah, but then
not
doesn't
possible.
that interrupt with?
No.
Is speedy trial
Because-
because that will be an act delayed by the court.
Yeah, but that's not fair. And they
It
can
is fair
throw-
because his attorneys can't prepare for it. What would be not fair is to kick these dudes off, bring new attorneys in, and have them go to jury trial in 2 weeks.
No, but then like technically they could do that in perpetuity, forever and ever and ever. They're going to be grabbing new attorneys, and he's never going to get a trial for the next 12 years.
Then
The
he'll
only
be in
thing
jail.
that I understand is that he
Prison,
could be
sorry.
let out
Mm-hmm.
because his
You think
70
on bond or just out?
Yes, he could be let out.
He could be let out. He could be discharged.
Because
his trial did not take place.
Marv
in
is
70
right,
days.
but I don't
it
know in
doesn't
this
mean-
case.
It doesn't mean that he can't. He still doesn't. He still has to answer to the charges. He just has to be let out until
Well,
then.
It would depend if it was with prejudice or not.
No, that's what they'll do. It's automatic. It's criminal rule 4B is how that works.
It says here, any defendant held in jail on an indictment or a probable cause affidavit who requests an early trial must be discharged if the trial does not begin within 70 days of that request.
There you go.
But discharge means he's released from jail, but he still has to face he still will have
still
to go to
face the charges.
Gotcha.
But he
Yes,
will get out
some people
of jail.
Some people take years. That can take years. You're just sitting there waiting to see when they're gonna. I don't even know what the.
Well, some people
technical
want
term
that
is,
though
but
because they've done it and they're like,
Of
well,
Well, then
Yeah.
maybe it's better if Judge Gold doesn't kick them off so they can just get their asses going.
Agreed.
Damn.
Just get him on
Yeah.
with it. We might have someone else joining us here in a second.
So yeah,
is
maybe.
it Sterling? Is it boys versus girls?
Nope. You'll see. It's not
Aw.
Sterling. Oh, you guys.
Who else could it possibly be?
I don't know. It could be someone. Could be anyone. I don't know. We never know. We never know around here. Whenever things
You
happen, they
totally
just
know.
happen,
We
man.
don't know because we can't see.
Can't see anyone.
As long as we're not arguing and yelling.
Who's arguing?
No yelling.
Oh no. we
Nobody.
Don't yell.
Don't bring anybody.
Yeah.
No,
we're gonna
Mr. Severe, the charges stay. The charges don't go away, so there's nothing new to file. The charges
It's just
continue
delays.
on, but because he didn't get his trial within 70 days, he will be let out of jail until his jury trial happens.
Yes. He will be let out of
That's
jail.
how the 70-day speedy trial works. It's happened in Tipton on 2 different occasions where Jay Rich has not brought the defendant to trial within 70 days, so they had to let him out of jail, and those charges are still pending.
Wow. So now I'm going to be stressed out for the next 10 days, hoping that Judge Gall just moves it forward because that would be bad. That could be bad.
And Dr. Feelgood does make a good point. Starting over does cost a lot more money. Absolutely, it does.
Yeah.
And years
So
and
I've
years of just time. No
I've
justice.
got Indiana contempt laws.
Okay.
I'm gonna share. You can read through it and find some stuff.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Court operations and closures. I think that's the one.
I love
hold
this
on. I gotta
technical stuff.
pull that.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, no worries.
I think we should have a panel like this on guilty of
What's
crime with
happening here?
other cases.
Yes.
Yes.
Other
Carly's
cases.
like, I'm so tired of Delphi.
I really am.
I am down for any case.
I had you and Anthony on. You were doing the Madeline Soto case. I was like, can he finish talking? Like, are you done? Are you done,
Who?
bro? Like, I need to get you. I'm like, I
You
need
mean
to
am
get
I
over
done?
to guilty of crime.
Hey.
She's like, she wants to
You
hear
know that-
all the cases.
She read the arrest affidavit. That was a trip.
I saw some people drop off and then they came back
Yeah,
on.
they
Like it went
did.
down and then they came back up. Yeah.
I read it to Anthony.
Yay!
What's up, Kelly?
Yes.
Hey, Kelly.
there.
I should have.
How you
guessed
doing?
that one.
Hey. Oh,
Oh,
that's
Coming to you live,
girl.
live
someone
from
who,
Arizona. Hey.
Oregon,
Is this the
too.
same lady who catfished Keegan Klein?
Yeah.
Catfish. Catfish.
Hey, there
Hey.
we go.
Look at her. She's all happy. He recognized her.
Yeah.
It's like, what's up, Kelly?
Welcome.
You guys, this stuff is it's never ending. It reminds me, I always have to put in my own little weird stuff, but I mean, in Willy Wonka, when they go on that crazy boat ride, it's like, what direction are we going? I mean, it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Where are we going? What's happening? I mean, what do you talk to your boyfriend lately?
Your boyfriend.
You know, listen, remember I told you, this is why I called in. Remember how I told you that he would always say to me, Kelly, I don't want to go to Newcastle. Well, he's there. He's there.
Yes.
He's there.
I wonder what's going to happen to him now. And that was a great mug shot, by the way. That guy.
He actually looks like he's lost weight, but I mean,
He
who
does
wouldn't?
look like he lost weight.
He probably lives in fear every day, you know.
I haven't seen that mugshot. Do you have the mugshot, Anthony?
Yeah, go to that crazy wife Lilith page. Hey, and I wanted to say something. When she shows you those pages of her, I don't know, I think I sent them to Anthony, where it shows, you know, visit after visit. What she was doing was making all the visits so that nobody else could, but she would never come because he would say to me, she makes all the visits and takes all the appointments, but then never comes. So when she's trying to tell everybody she has hundreds of visits, it's a lie.
Where's this at?
Dun, dun, dun.
On her page, go to wife_Lilith. She's got stuff. Oh yeah, she's got it's wife_Lilith. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Can you share it?
Oh yeah, I'll share it. All right, I see it.
Yeah, see all those little pages.
Just a side note, we should do Corey Richards.
I was actually going to do Corey Richards. I just saw new updates and I want to do that. Let's do it. I'll do it.
I think Dateline or 2020 just had a.
They just
had
came
one
out
I
with
just
another
watched.
one.
Yeah, I just watched it, and I'm like,
I'll do more.
I thought she was found guilty. I didn't realize she hasn't even gone to trial yet.
That one's
Oh, I know. That's really been drug out. You guys are right. Yeah.
It was with her family, and they're like, "Oh, she's so innocent." I'm like, "Mm-hmm."
I want to talk to the drug dealer, housekeeper lady,
Yes.
and like go through all of the documents. That would be. They just glossed over it in that episode.
And Marv,
so
Marv,
let's do
you're
it.
so right because Marv, you're so right because it's always the housekeepers that know.
There he is.
They see all my stuff.
Oh wow.
There he is. There's your boy.
He did lose weight.
He got his hair
Yeah, he
cut. I
does
think
look
that's what it
different.
is. He got his hair cut.
Somber.
Cut his beard.
Looks a little more. He should change his name to Choey.
Yeah, exactly.
Choey.
Is he?
Oh, wait, where am I?
Is he? Just didn't he say he's just with all the other pedos? Like they don't have him by himself, right? Isn't he in?
Well, you know that new-
They have
Yeah,
to protect them, I think, because people will.
I thought he. Well, but there's
not protected.
there's a lot of those guys. He's not protected.
Anthony, he's
with
not protected,
people.
so
No,
he's just
no,
like
no.
walking amongst everybody else.
No, but there's people. Oh, really? I thought he was with other pedos, like they. Have.
Oh yeah,
I thought he was
That's
something like
look,
that.
They don't separate people like that in Indiana. They don't divide them up and
Good.
try to protect them. You are in
Good,
with the
right?
wolves, dude. When Richard
I
Allen gets
wanted
convicted, guess what?
I wanted to ask something because I came in on the end of this, or like, can you enlighten me as to what is this thing about the YouTubers being subpoenaed? Like, just fill me in about that. I mean, is the defense
They're
trying to use Julie and Gray and you?
Julie's going to testify, not
Yeah.
Gray.
Yeah.
Unraveling girls.
Yeah.
And a couple dudes.
And
Terry
Fig, I
Williams.
think Fig, Gary,
yep.
Fig.
Fig,
Yep.
Yep. And then they used mine, Frank Meister, Sleuth. Mine, Frank Meister, the girl from the Unravelings, R&M Productions. And yeah, Fig solves stuff. And they're
And you
trying
know
to
what?
say that we knew shit before it happened.
And you know what I really want to say is I don't care what the defense says. Rick Allen, to me, in my opinion, is the bridge guy. But the rest of the story is completely up in the air because everything could be plausible. Yes, they were talking to all these profiles. Yes, Derek was a drug dealer. I mean, it's just like, why did Rick Allen do this? Only the prosecution knows, because until they have their opening arguments, that's
Kelly,
what I'm
I
like.
completely agree with you. Completely. That's why I want to see the trial. Like, I know he's the bridge guy, but is he the murderer? I want the evidence.
Yeah, because Carly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because when they took that motorcycle cover, that's pretty specific. And, like we talked about the other night, the people that live above the laundromat saw a man around the perimeter. I mean, the wording is very clear. A man around the perimeter of the laundromat with a motorcycle cover full of clothes. I mean, well, that's pretty specific. And that's what they took out of his garage. So, I mean, I bet you a lot of Delphi businesses have him on camera, but we just don't know it yet.
Oh, yeah, prior to the murders. You got to think about what was he doing the day before the murders. I'm sure he wasn't hiding his blue coat. I'm sure he was walking
or like
around
you
town.
always said, or like you always said, what did he do after you do something like what we saw? What the hell do you do next? Yes,
drink beer and play pool.
Yeah, drink beer and play pool.
I mean, do you go like I said? Do you go to McDonald's and get a sweet tea and then head on home, or I mean, what the hell?
Sometimes you hear about that.
Isn't that funny when they say sweet tea?
Yeah.
Sweet tea, whatever that is.
In Canada, we have iced tea, and iced tea is sweet, like all of it.
Yeah, that's it. Iced tea, sweet tea. Yeah, because I'm from
ours is
Atlanta.
just iced tea. Like if you're like, hey, you want some iced tea? It's always sweet. Like we've never had it not sweet.
That's because people get sued around here.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, there's no choice. It's either sweet tea or nothing.
No, I remember when I was a kid and I went across the border and I ordered an iced tea and I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, where's the sugar?
I'm like, Mom, it's gross. What's wrong? She's like, just grab some sugar packets.
You gotta put
that in
sugar.
there.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at these things
It's that
real
different,
quick.
huh?
Yep, let's take a look at Jay's documents.
These are contempt.
Okay. So these are
J1.
the laws on contempt. J1, yes. So Indiana contempt procedure. They list the characteristics, which are behaviors occur within the presence of the court, judge witnesses behavior firsthand. They conduct behavior disrupts proceedings. Witness refused to take an oath or testifies in demanding or disruptive manner, or it testifies in a demeaning or disruptive manner unless refusal is based upon privilege. Intimidating, threatening, assaulting, or attempting to influence a witness. That's a key point that we should probably keep in mind. Procedures. Judge should deal with the contempt behavior immediately. Is that something that happened?
No.
Kind of. Well, she kicked him off the case, yeah.
Well, yeah, true.
Okay. Proceedings are commenced by and before judge who witnessed contemptuous behavior. Sanctions can occur at a later time as long as judge is able to maintain authority and dignity of court. So
she didn't have the hearing. She just kicked him off. So
she kicked him off, and that's why they were reinstated.
In trouble.
That's why they're reinstated. But now they filed for that.
Based on this little blurb here, that she retains authority and dignity of court to do that, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're waiting for to see if she's going to.
Yeah, because you guys, that's what I guess
off.
maybe I'm. Yeah, because I think I'm maybe out of the. Like what this is.
It's what?
This is what?
You cut out, Kelly.
A door.
A door.
Opening.
This is
a door.
On the 18th, she's making a record by having an actual hearing, according to that
Instead
document.
Instead of just saying you're kicked off. She did reprimand them properly, though. I mean, you have to do something. Had she not done that, right?
Dr. Feelgood says they'll be fined. He thinks they're gonna just be fined, sanctioned, basically.
I tend to agree.
Point, I hope that happens. I hope that happens and they move forward.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
We're gonna have a countdown.
A countdown to the attorneys getting kicked off the case.
Countdown.
I can't wait. I'm gonna start one.
All right, what else should those
they're
doctors
not.
say?
They're not gonna
You
get
should,
kicked off.
because now I'm stressed out about it.
So
I hope they
there's a
don't.
couple different kinds of contempt.
Civil.
Is this classified as civil contempt?
This is civil contempt.
Okay. So the characteristics of that are intentional act or omission that violates the terms of court order made for the benefit of the opposing party. Yeah, that lines up.
Yeah.
The offense is made against the operative party. Okay. Procedure filed in the same civil matter out of which it arises, initiated by verified motion. Motion must specifically identify the command or prohibition language in the trial's court order that is allegedly to be violated. Motion must specifically describe behavior that violates the court's order. Motion must be accompanied by affidavits of aggrieved person if facts not stated in verified motion, and witness to the behavior if applicable. So what evidence do we have that is verifiable behavior of contempt?
Disobeying the gag order.
Disobeying the gag order, which they're saying that wasn't in place yet.
Leaving their evidence open to be photographed.
Leaving their evidence open, sharing it with people, even though Westerman's not an attorney, he's not affiliated with the case, sharing it to him, admittedly, they admitted that they shared it to him.
How is that verifiable?
He admitted to it.
Because it's every...
He admitted it? He admitted?
Baldwin admitted that he shared the information
not so many words,
with Westerman and a private citizen to review
that he took a picture of it, right? It was a picture of the screen. That's how...
No, that's
before
this.
Oh, what?
Baldwin
What are we
actually
talking
gave...
about?
Baldwin, okay, so here's how this happened. This is verifiable.
That's what I...
Verifiable contempt is Baldwin had the documents, the Frank's memorandum that talked about all the Odinism stuff and all that, and he took that with the memorandum and the exhibits and showed them to Mitch Westerman and showed them to a private citizen. He admitted to doing that. Then Mitch Westerman eventually took photographs of those photographs and then distributed those to the people on a different date. Okay.
So is that the information that somebody was talking about besides the pictures that other people have?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I wonder what that... Okay, because
there's
somebody
more
said
stuff
they
in
have
there.
more information, but we haven't
There's a
seen
lot
that,
more.
right? Nobody else...
Right.
Some
Tell
people
us,
have, some
tell
people
us.
haven't. Some have, some haven't. Some have seen it, some haven't. That's the thing. Because some people have those information because it's been slowly being leaked over time. And that's what the defense is saying is those leaks are because we knew about this information prior to. Now, I didn't know anything about any information. So I don't know if anybody else did, like Fig or anybody else. I'm not them, and I can't speak for any of them, right? But I can tell everybody that I didn't have any knowledge of any information prior to this happening today or whenever it happened.
Yeah, they're just trying it in the media. They're trying the case in the public eye, and hopefully hopefully one of the jurors will be on there and buy into this theory. I mean, this is what they're going to present in court. So we know what they're going to present in court, but we don't know what prosecution has. That's the thing. That's why it's so split.
Yeah, it is a split. So, okay, where do we go from here? So Mitch Westerman, so is he going to be found? Is his case going to get dismissed on the 27th then? Because that happens right after this.
There's
maybe
going
not
on
dismissed. What? Maybe a fine. Why? Why do you say that?
Well, he would have to go because he's filed for a motion to dismiss. They're trying to get rid of the case on the 27th.
Well, they're always going to do that. They always got to try something. I mean, that's their tactic.
Yeah, but it matters.
But I think it matters because they're trying to say because Baldwin got put back on the case because Mitch Westerman signed a notarized document saying that he did this and Baldwin was of he wasn't to blame because Mitch Westerman was committing a crime against him.
That's why you call him the fall guy.
If McClellan can prove that Baldwin knew and was in on it, the charges against Westerman will be dropped.
Yeah.
If he can't prove it, then I think the charges against Westerman will continue.
Okay, what's the if it continues? What's the repercussions of this? Is he looking at jail time, fines, or is
He's
it
looking
just
at up to a year, 6 months in jail? But it'll be a fine. It'll be nothing.
But then that will show that it was him and not the defense, and there will be no repercussions for the defense.
Right.
If he's convicted, it's a minimum. If it's multiple accounts, it's a minimum of 6 months in prison, and up to I think $3,000, something like that, of fines.
5,000.
5,000. Yeah, but minimum 6 months on multiple counts of contempt.
No, that's contempt. What I'm talking about is his conversion, Mitch Westerman's conversion. His stealing.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But yes, you're right. So, but it is a maximum of 1 year, which is served 6 months for his conversion thing.
Right.
He's already been to jail for a night and bonded out for $250 cash. What's going to happen is this: if he's found guilty, they'll take his $250 and they'll put it towards court costs, which will be $160 something. That's gone. The remaining money he'll get back, but he's going to be on some sort of probation and shit like that for unsupervised. So he's going to have to pay a little bit of fees, a few $100, but nothing. He's not going to go to jail over this, even if he's found guilty. And if he's found not guilty, then that means Baldwin leaked the crime scene shit.
Right.
Guaranteed.
Right.
And there was no crime that was committed against him.
Exactly. And it's interesting that people are pointing the finger and saying that it's the town that framed him and people are framing him. But we have all of this going on, leaked photos, and then the drawings come out and everybody's like, oh, now it's Odinism. Do you see the antlers and the whatever they call them, horns?
Horns, yeah,
the
antlers.
It's backwater stuff. Sorry.
Well, what makes it worse, man, is you've got other YouTubers that actually say that exists.
I know. I was on the channel and it almost had me convinced for a second. I was like, wait.
Yeah, but that's
And I
the
was like,
thing
no.
when like you have
Remember
one piece
what-
of evidence and like 5 people see it and all have a different opinion on it, and it's like,
Well, that's
how's
the
that
thing.
possible? Because black is not
we
just black
know-
and white's not just white.
We know nothing about what the prosecution has except a tiny bit, but we know what the defense's cards are. So that's why
Yeah.
it's so split.
Yes. I love
It's
that
so
you said
split.
that. Tobe Lesenby told me one time when I asked him about information, I says, well, why can't you tell me anything? He said, it's like a game of poker, Anthony. And we don't want to reveal that ace we got up the sleeve until that day in court when we can.
Yep.
Because
And
then they're
that's-
going to come up with a way to rebuttal that before and find somebody to say this and that.
Yes, and
That will
people will
just
come out of the
ruin the
woodwork on
case.
YouTube. People will come out of woodwork on YouTube and be like, no, that's not
Absolutely.
true. I did it. You know, or
And
some
before
crazy
comes
shit.
my theory, 11th hour.
You gotta think that lawyers
Yeah,
are
yes.
really good at finding the specific details that can turn a case on its head. They're
Oh,
really
yeah.
good at finding loopholes. They're really good at looking at the tiny details. They know they went to school for this. They know the law inside out. Not all of them. Some of them are idiots, but the good lawyers and the really crooked lawyers that are out to get you.
Well,
they
I
know the
wouldn't
law.
call them crooked, but they know the law, and that's their job to find the little tiny things to
Well,
get
if
somebody.
if there's a lawyer that's trying to put you in jail for something you didn't do, and they know you didn't do it,
I
is that-
agree.
Is
Of
that
course.
you wouldn't call that a crooked lawyer?
Well, yeah.
I would.
They're
There's
all
crooked
They're all
everybody's.
crooked.
Yeah.
Look, here's another thing. James Crane says, Anthony France, no one ever identified Richard Allen as bridge guy for 5 years. Actually, someone did on his own Facebook page, on a thing. Fig Saw
Really?
played it. Yeah, dude, hang on. I'm going to go find that video while we're talking about it. Because
You should know
I just
this
can't.
case inside and out, Carly.
I know. Carly, you
I
should know.
literally-
What do you mean, really? Don't ever. Carly, you're grounded. That's it.
I don't even pay attention to him half the time. He's like, I was just live. I just said that. Didn't you hear me? I'm like, no. I tuned you out. I was,
She'll
I was
ask
watching the
questions,
chat.
and I'm like, wait, were you even in my live stream? Because you're asking.
Yeah,
everything.
why are you putting me in the corner? You should
The
be
chat
putting
is
Carly in the
way
corner.
more fun.
She was
The
watching
chat is
Corey
way more fun
Richards.
than Anthony is. I'm just saying.
So Melissa and Carrie Summers, part 2 of Elijah is coming shortly on Beyond the Evidence. I still have more video to show.
Oh, really? That's
and
awesome.
some of the other updates, small updates,
Yep,
but
and we got to give updates. And I'm hoping that my car will be finished next Thursday, and then next weekend I'm going to go and search again.
Here
I
it
wish
is.
I was closer.
Take a look at this.
I'm thinking of going to the Idaho trial if there ever is one. It's not too far from me.
Coburger?
Don't say that now. All the
Coburger.
trolls will be there.
Oh shit!
I literally know nothing about it. I just
We're not
love
going to the
it.
Idaho
What
trial.
are we watching, Anthony?
We're watching the bridge guy walk around.
Anthony, I didn't invite you. You can stay in your house.
What we're looking at is we're looking for this post that was made.
Where you can see Richard Allen in the same jacket. Is that the
Oh
one?
no, you might be able to see that in here.
There
I
is
gotta
one
find-
that someone sent that to me the other day in one of my comments.
Here it is. All right, bam. Someone sent in and said, "Dude, you
Jason.
gotta, you better go out there because you were there that day and you have a blue coat." And Channel 6 said, you need to let everybody know that they've talked to this man and released him because someone commented before this and said, he went to the police. They released him. He's not a suspect. Someone said that back when someone called Richard Allen out and said, hey, man, he's the freaking dude. Someone said, no, he already went to the police. They released him. He's not a suspect. So he convinced whoever this dude was that he wasn't the guy, right? And whoever this guy is on this bottom post here must have dismissed this whenever the second sketch came out because they said the suspect's 18 to 40. And he's probably like, okay, Rick's 50 years old. There's no way it's him for sure. But someone did call out Richard Allen at the very beginning, and they got it. Richard Allen and these people took care of it for him. His alibied him. So
well, also most people don't go to the cops and say, hey, I was there that day. Here's what I saw. I just wanted to let you know. Most people don't do that, but some do. You'll see a case where somebody is on the news like, oh, I can't believe that neighbor that happened. I gotta look that case up, but they're intertwined again. They'll put themselves into the case and it's them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Look at the time.
He totally did that.
Look at the time that they posted this picture February 15th, 2017 at 7:04 p.m. And that's the post that it was made on. The day later, when they released the bridge guy photograph, Richard Allen already talked to the cops on the 14th. And on the 15th, someone is pointing him out as the suspect. The very next day. And they swept that shit under, dude. Isn't that crazy? That's what I'm talking about. People don't realize like all this crazy shit that happened behind the scenes.
That's because it was 7 years ago, too.
Yeah. It was 7, and people were always saying he was never mentioned. No one ever identified him. Yes, they did, dude. Yes, they did.
But he went to the cops and told them he was there. He couldn't have done it.
Yeah, he couldn't have done it. He told the cops there.
He couldn't have done it. Yeah.
What I thought was trippy was that picture of him that had their missing poster, like was it in his office? At his house?
It was at the bar.
No, they had the missing pictures of the girl. Not missing, sorry. The picture of the guy at his house.
What guy?
Like on a poster. Am I crazy?
I don't know what you're talking about. A guy on a poster. And what about him?
That Richard Allen had a picture of the bridge guy.
Of the bridge guy.
Of the handout.
Oh, no, it was not a picture of him. It was a picture of him with it behind him.
Right.
Standing. That's at the bar, babe.
Oh.
That's at the bar.
Oh, so they were looking for the bridge guy. They had a poster looking for him. And he was
I'll
there.
show you guys. Yeah, I'll pull it up and show you guys.
No, he had a picture of himself and then the posters in the background. It was just, I don't know. It's
right.
Yeah, he took a picture of himself. There he is, jumping around that we were looking for the other day, guys.
Crazy.
Jump around, jump up, but get down. Jump.
That's so weird.
Here we go. Jump.
That's my daughter's song.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Look at him.
She gets up on stage at a
there's the post. Wasn't that the poster behind him?
That's awesome. No,
do it again.
that's not the picture.
Hold on, we're gonna get to it.
That was the crazy dance.
Look, there he is again.
Can Anthony's chat please help me on what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I've got it, babe. Trust me, I know everything about this case. There's not one thing in the world that I don't know. Trust me, believe it.
You guys are funny listening to you argue.
I know.
He's an idiot.
It is funny.
I don't know why you guys are all here. He's
It
an
is,
idiot.
and
I'm just saying.
Sorry. That's a can't.
Oh,
Here he is giving it. Here he is giving it. There he is. There he was giving his tip. Did you see it? So here's Richard Allen and Dan Doolin getting the tip.
Nerdy Cat,
with
yeah,
the
I think,
jacket.
Of course, the other Canadian.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's
Richard Allen. Here's
Photoshop.
Here's Richard Allen's post on Instagram.
That is Photoshop.
Yeah, it is photo. Here's Richard Allen's post on Instagram saying, "Here's me giving a tip. It can't be me, everybody."
Damn.
That is funny. All right, I will find that video, Carly. I know exactly where it's at. You're gonna be blown away. You're gonna be
Nerdy
like,
Cat said it's the lunchroom at his work, maybe.
No, it's in the freaking bar. I know.
He's sitting down.
Babe,
It's like
babe,
there's
the
a
bar.
sketch.
Hold on.
A sketch behind him.
Hold on. I'm about to show you.
Thank you, Bees9.
Was he hiding in plain sight? Here he is. All right, we're gonna show up.
Oh,
Reno knows
Miracle
everything.
Hearts.
Someone said.
My
I
darling
know.
says it was at the bar, so maybe that's true.
Hold on. I know it's at the bar. Here, we're about to see him in the blue coat.
Nothing.
I know it all.
Here he comes. Blue coat. There he is. Bam. Bridge guy. Right before the murders. Bam.
Again,
wearing the
not the
same
photo I
fucking
was
coat.
speaking
There's where he
of.
worked, everybody. I've been there. I've walked in there. I know. You're going to see it.
I
It's
got
at the end.
pictures of there. I drove by there.
You know, did you guys know I was on Crime Nation?
Oh my god, shut the fuck up. Jesus.
I think we've lost the plot.
Didn't you produce it?
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. There he is at the bar. See it? Look behind you.
Oh, right behind him. Yep.
You were
What?
right.
Someone
I
said
was
that in there.
wrong.
Lollipop said there was a
Actually, no,
sketch.
it was Miracle Hearts, I think, that said the bar.
Isn't that Anthony Shots? No, it was not. It was Lolly. Watch right here.
Oh, Anthony
Lollipop.
Shots.
Let me look.
Oh wait, sorry.
There he is.
Show.
Look at him.
Yeah, it was Miracle Hearts,
was a
and I
sketch behind
trust
him.
Miracle Hearts way more than I do Anthony. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Did people
trust
even? Damn, I
Miracle
got
Hearts.
fucking like 50 comments in here. So you were there and you did not recognize him as BG? No, actually, I tipped him in and I got the reward money. So yeah, he's the bridge guy.
Stop, Anthony.
Is
No,
that
here's
it's
the
supposed
thing.
to be Anthony Shots?
Look, actually, no, that's supposed to be the bridge guy on the left.
I know. I'm
That
just
one
kidding.
and the other photograph. But yeah, people think it's Anthony Shots or whatever. Here's the thing.
He's smiling
I started
too.
dismissing.
Crazy.
I know. I started dismissing people left and right.
Good call.
Because I didn't point at him and say he's the bridge guy, doesn't mean that he didn't fit 100% the profile that I created of him, and he is that profile.
Okay, but enough about you. But that picture, I actually wanted to see that picture like for a bit and be like, "Yo, that's a thing."
That is crazy.
craziness.
He was literally
Like, if
like
that's
smiling, creepy.
Like if I got away with a
Yeah.
crime and had my own, oh Jesus, picture in the back.
He's like, that was me in my 20s. If your husband,
Yeah.
adult.
Let's listen to to
Marv.
what they said on it. Here, let's listen to this.
What?
Hold on.
After he was charged with the slayings of
wait.
teens Abby Williams
Ooh,
and
that's a
Libby
good question,
German.
Anthony Franco.
Reminders of the manhunt have been everywhere in Delphi for 5 years, including the bar where Allen was photographed smiling, a sketch of the wanted man behind him. Bob Matlock owned the bar.
It's such a shock. I just can't see it in Rick, knowing the Rick I know.
New details of Allen's life are emerging. He was known around town as Rick or Ricky. He's lived in Delphi for about 15 years. He has no criminal history, just 2 speeding tickets and a seatbelt violation. He and his wife, Kathy, have 2 children. At a news conference in 2019, cops gave what now seems like a perceptive insight
To the killer who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight.
How do you think he was able
call.
to enter the radar?
It's really not uncommon that somebody's hiding in plain sight after committing a heinous crime. Very often they block it out and then continue to function in a fairly normal way.
2 sketches of the suspect have been released by investigators over the years, and Allen resembles the first most. Authorities are tight-lipped about the case against Allen, and today there's an intriguing possible explanation.
Why are officials being so secretive?
I think it's because they believe there could be another person involved.
Prosecutor Nicholas McClelland was asked if investigators think Allen had an accomplice.
We haven't closed the door on the investigation. And so that's why we keep the tip line and the tip email open.
The fact that they are saying, send us tips, this is not over, please do not think this.
Shut up, lady. All right.
Oh.
So I mean, yeah, he was hiding in plain sight this whole time. He was right there in front of us all, and we never realized it.
And the guy was right. And that happens so many times. I'm going to do a video of the people that are on videos talking about, oh, I'm so sorry. And then they were the person, or they went to their funeral and they were the ones that did it, or they were close to the family and they did it. Like, come on. Yeah, people, I can't wait. I just want the trial to happen now.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I want
Go
a
ahead.
conspiracy theorist on here tonight. We're missing a
No.
spot up there.
We do not need that.
Yes, we need conspiracies.
Maybe
on
Anthony
here.
France will come on. He has some good
Anthony-
questions.
Well, I wasn't going to stay
He
on
does
here all
have
night.
good questions.
Yeah, I've got to get going here soon.
All right,
Only
so we'll go
7:30
for
where I'm at.
Yeah, we'll go for 10 more minutes, guys. 10 more minutes. All right, and I got another video I want to share with you guys.
Why don't we go to the chat and answer some questions too?
Okay.
Yeah, I got
They're
a
asking-
question to answer of Anthony France. And earlier, Anthony said that wouldn't you want your daughter to support you in court?
No.
And my thoughts on that are no, I want my family to stay the hell out of this. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want my family involved. I don't want them to get caught up in this.
I
Right?
disagree. If I felt that my
Well,
husband was innocent,
you can disagree all you
no, if
want.
I felt that my husband was innocent, I would want my adult children to support him as well with me.
No way.
Oh
I thought he was innocent.
No way. No.
Maybe she doesn't think he's innocent. though.
Here's the thing.
Sucks, bro.
I would back up my loved ones and lie for them in court. I don't care. I would lie for them. I wouldn't.
No, I
give a
wouldn't
shit.
put. I wouldn't want to put them at risk because prosecutors
They're adults.
are
They're adults.
so tricky, and I wouldn't want to expose them to that. Right?
I would do
I'm not
anything
a-
for my family.
Yeah,
My
what do you
nephew
mean,
just
like,
got
I
out
wouldn't
of
put them in
prison.
court?
No,
I would
my
not put them
nephew
in
just
court
got out
because
of
it's
prison.
dangerous.
I was there every freaking court date he was in there for 2 years. Just court, and he did 5 years for something he should have done 27 years for, and I was there every freaking court date. And yes, Anthony's right. So whatever.
I don't.
To me, it doesn't matter if
I
she's.
can't.
Hang on, guys.
I
To
can't.
me, it doesn't matter if she's an adult or not. You're always going to protect your children,
Yeah.
whether they're minors, whether they're adults.
I guess it
And
depends how you
this-
grew up.
And this case is so full of
Agreed,
evil.
Carly.
Oh,
He
this
doesn't want
case-
his kids
This
to be
case,
around.
no. This case, no. I would not
Yeah,
want my
exactly.
anything to be defending him at all ever for any reason. This case is separate, but
Well-
I'm saying if my loved one that I felt like if it was my husband that I felt was innocent, yes, I would be screaming it from the rooftops. I'd want my kids to definitely support. But this case,
But not in this
I
case.
would not
with
bring
all
the kids in.
crap going around.
Absolutely.
Well,
Under
his
no
kids, they're already
circumstance would I bring the kids in. I'm just saying. Under
But it does
no
speak a lot
No,
that
no, no.
his
Hold on.
daughter
Hold on. Under no circumstances would I ever subpoena my own children to court on a case that I'm dealing with because they don't need that.
No,
They
you
do not
wouldn't.
need
You
that.
wouldn't. They would. They do. They,
I don't know.
That's
I
what I
have
was gonna
kids, so
say.
I don't know
You
how
don't.
I'd feel in
Court
You
that
don't
does.
have that
Not the
option.
defense.
The court does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You don't have a choice.
Absolutely.
The court will make them come
Chad Daybell.
because they're affiliated.
Chad
Yeah.
Daybell's kids. His one kid,
Well, I
Garth.
don't
that
know how it
picked the-
works in the U.S.,
Oh
but I
wait,
don't think
Yeah.
that's
guilty
how
of
it works
crime.
in Canada.
By Jay, I want to hear that. What's going on with that now?
Chad Daybell has 5 kids
Yeah.
that support him. They went on the episode. Was it Dateline or
Oh, I
2020?
couldn't even watch that.
And
It was
they all supported him, and the kids were found in his backyard dead, and he's a gravedigger. But Garth, they're gonna subpoena because when the mom died, he picked her off the floor. She supposedly died of natural causes. Lori Vallow got convicted for that, being involved in it. But yeah, Garth has to be subpoenaed. He has no say. They have no say about it.
That's
He
I
was
know.
there.
It's
Especially
crazy.
I didn't know that.
Done.
That's cool. I'm glad he is.
But they
Here,
still
let's watch this
support
real
their dad, though.
Ugh.
Let's watch this real quick. This is about his mental health because that's something that they just asked for.
Is at long last the suspect charged in the murders of teenagers Libby German and Abby Williams.
Right.
Abby's grandfather wiped tears at a news conference today. Becky Patty is Libby's grandmother.
I don't feel like I thought I would. I've always said that I would be screaming on the rooftops, but we're not. It's sad.
Authorities revealed that 50-year-old Richard Allen is being held without.
Sorry, not it. It wasn't it. I was wrong. I was looking for the one where it said that he went to what was it? He went to they had a. There it is.
And tonight he's being held with bond in the White County Jail. Detectives with the Delphi Double Homicide Task Force took him into custody last Wednesday. Friday was his initial hearing when he entered a plea of not guilty. And tonight, we're starting to learn more about exactly who Allen was.
Today, our Max Lewis went to Allen's hometown and tells us why many he spoke with didn't see this coming.
Neighbors told us Richard Allen grew up here in the small town of Mexico, just about 30 miles from Delphi. We spoke to several people who knew him, and all of them said they never would have suspected him.
People change over the years.
And I haven't seen Ricky for a long time.
Richard Allen, aka Ricky, grew up in this home in Mexico, but neighbors say they haven't seen him much since he moved to Delphi in 2006.
He was all around good, normal, everyday family. There was nothing out of the ordinary about him.
Before moving to Delphi, he lived in this home with his wife and daughter, according to neighbors. David Yoder lived across the street, but has known Allen since he was born and grew up with his dad.
Yeah, I mean, I would have never thought living across the road from him, there's anything. That's where I would have sent my kids to if there had been any trouble.
But after hearing Allen was arrested and charged with killing Abby Williams and Libby German, he's now questioning if he really knew him.
It's just hard to believe. He's a heck of a nice guy. Always has been.
Allen's parents still live in Mexico, but nobody answered the door today. Their neighbors describe them as nice people, but some still have a lot of questions.
I honestly just don't know how his parents could not, I don't know how they could not know.
Allen has no criminal history, but Carroll County dispatch records show he had one encounter with police in 2015. The sheriff said it was a domestic issue where Allen was supposedly drunk and his wife took him to a Lafayette hospital. No law enforcement action was taken, but deputies were sent to his Delphi home to, quote, keep the peace. If he's found guilty, his old neighbors say he deserves the maximum punishment.
And if he did do it, he deserves to fry.
Now, in this country, you are innocent until proven guilty.
You're not innocent until proven guilty in this country, by the way.
Otherwise, they wouldn't keep you in jail.
That was 2016. Here's a question for us to kind of end the night on. They're asking for Richard Allen's mental health records. We've heard a lot about his mental health over the past several months. This happened prior to the murders in 2016. Was he on a downward spiral mental health wise, and that's what eventually led to this murder situation that we have here? Start with Marv.
It could be. Could very well be. We don't know enough though. Without those mental health records, what exactly, we know that we've been told that he went to a facility afterwards, but okay, what tests did they run? What was he diagnosed with mentally? That's why the prosecution's trying to get these records, is to find out. So it's possible that he had been on a downward spiral before this. This led to the girls being unalived and where we're at now. Mm-hmm. We just don't know.
Intertwined?
I'm going to ask you to skip me because I got a follow-up question after.
Okay. Guilty of crime.
Marv's right, and she's being careful. However, he seems like, with all the pictures, and I don't know him a lot, or know him or any of that, but he's at a bar a lot, drinking a lot, just doing a lot of just typical things that you do in a small town like that. Who knows what other drugs? I think he declined. I mean, obviously you don't do that if you don't have some mental health issues, but it was after he got caught. I mean, he seemed fine out in public. He was smiling at that picture. It just didn't seem, he was out there living his life. And as soon as he got caught, eyes got crazy, got skinny, and all of a sudden he was just giving confessions, right? Eating paper, things like that. But before that, he was just normal, living his life, drinking beer, playing pool, still fat.
You're right.
I just,
what?
That's how I see it. That's it.
Okay. Harley?
Before you asked me, I was going pee. What was the question?
Oh, God. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember questions after
What do you
5
think
minutes late, 2 minutes. Yeah.
Jason Guilty Crimes got this. What do I think about his mental health?
Do you think that played a role in what happened now?
Did it play a role? Well, that's like a two-part question. I think it's completely fake what he's doing right now. Same thing I would do too. Like I would 100% do that. If there's a big fat guy found on the bridge, yep, I'd be skinny. Like I'm gonna do the opposite. I will do whatever is gonna make me crazy, 100%. What was the second part? Sorry.
That was it. Do you just think it played his mental health? Played a role.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
it.
I agree, 100%.
Did it play a role though in what?
leading to him committing a murder because he was at the hospital and freaking out right before the murders.
Oh, no, I think he was totally fine for committing the murders. I think he was totally sane then. He knew what he was doing. But
yes,
the second part, yeah, is just him wanting to not look like that person.
True. All right, Jay, go ahead.
So like Jay from Guilty of Crime said, he's at a bar. You see him at a bar all the time, and if you know anything about alcoholics, it changes your brain chemistry. And so if he's either a recovering alcoholic or a relapsed alcoholic, then he's gonna go fucking batshit. Because if he relapses, you're putting yourself into a state of panic and just you lose your mind. And so what was my follow-up question? I had a follow-up question.
None of us can remember around here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, anyways, that's basically the gist of what I wanted to say.
Okay.
If you're either a recovering alcoholic or you relapse, your brain chemistry is all kinds of messed up.
Exactly.
I think he did it clear-headed. I think he wanted to do it. I think it's something he wanted to do. I'm not saying it was
Why?
Richard Allen 100%.
Why?
Why? Oh,
Yeah.
well, if you want to get into theory as well, let's go. It could have to do with his daughter. There was pictures of her on the bridge after. Was it after or before? I'm sorry.
After. It was
Yeah,
taken.
it was after.
It was taken after the murders, before the arrest.
Yeah. So it could have to do with his daughter, and she got married and stuff, and he was losing her, and we don't know how that was. And this is all alleged, by the way, everybody. I don't know. But there's one example. He might have wanted somebody that was like his daughter when she was younger.
He does have pictures of her wearing the tie-dye shirt like Libby had, and posing on the bridge a year later where he did it. You know, I mean, he looks a lot like the dad now, Derek German. I mean, they look an awful lot alike. She looks an awful similar to Libby's look. Just odd. You know what I mean? And it's if he filmed.
But personally, I still think the killer went after Abby. I believe that. I believe Abby was like something important. But if you wanted me to pick like any random theory, there's one for you.
Okay.
I think Libby looked like his daughter.
And being naked, I think, was more of an embarrassment thing. That's my thoughts
I'm
on that.
opposite. See, I'm thinking he wanted to protect Abby.
You think so?
Interesting.
Well, I don't know. And that's assuming if I think that Richard Allen's a killer. That would be what I would think.
Okay.
Her being clothed and warm is a lot different than leaving another girl nude and cold.
That's why I think leaving the girl nude, he was leaving her for embarrassment, and it was something a little more personal. Maybe she talked back to him more, and she was kind of fighting off more, or I'm not going down the bridge. He cocked that gun back for a reason, because they weren't cooperating. He didn't do it just because he could have got them to do it, and if he could have, without them hesitating, he wouldn't even have had to pull that gun back. Trust me.
Well,
you don't want to do
Hey, Guilty of Jay, if we went to Indiana, you and me, would you go over the little bridge thing and go on the old bridge with me?
Absolutely.
not
But I
scared
will
of
take
heights?
my gun though. No,
Okay,
I went
please do.
skydiving. I went skydiving the day
I did too. I
the
hated
day
it.
after I met my
Okay,
wife.
before
I
we
loved
get
it.
off topic, I've got a thought.
Okay.
If he committed the murder and his mental health wasn't declining, if you are someone who's mentally stable, if you're committing a crime, wouldn't you want to have that assurance that people will listen to you? Absolutely. So wouldn't a gun be a good option?
Would be if you're committing the crime, I think. Why not?
It would be to have it, but to actually cock it back in the
you don't think that would be intimidating?
I think it'd be intimidating, but I think you could point it at them.
They're not listening to you and they're disrespecting you or not going down the hill, that's when you're like, I'm serious. And the reason I say that is because we got carjacked like 12 years ago. Same thing. 5 guys pulled the gun, told my wife to get out of the car. She froze, didn't listen. He said, "Get out of the car, bitch," and pulled it back and cocked it. That's when I was like, "Babe, get out of the car. He's
Let's
not
get out
playing."
of the car now. Yeah.
He didn't need he didn't need to do that. He pointed the gun. That's enough. But she hesitated, and that makes sense. He lost.
And we
the
all
bullet,
know
but
Libby
he
fought.
did that on purpose. Yeah,
And
we
would
did
fight
too.
for Abby. So
Yeah.
she's going to try to protect Abby, and she's not going to listen. And he's going to get annoyed at that.
That scares the fuck out of you. Sorry.
That's true, especially like 13-year-old girls. They're so
Mhm.
contrarian.
Yes.
They're like, "Excuse me."
That's
But I'm
why I want to
telling
see
you-
that video.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, everybody's saying they didn't hear any screams. I can tell you, like, I, at 13, am a lot different than I am now. And he was older. He had a gun. I would have listened. If he said, you better shut the hell up, or I'm going to kill you.
Yeah,
or I'll kill your
nowadays,
friend.
yeah.
And I would have shut the hell up. I 100% would have. Now,
Well,
oh, hell no.
Also, so he does this, he tells them to do that, right? And they don't listen. And or he puts his hands on one, and then the screaming starts, and that's what draws the kill. Because it's like, shut up, is what he's thinking. Shut up. You know what I mean? I gotta shut him up. And he stabs them multiple times to try to stop it and you know what I mean? Like, hey.
You also don't
Like
want to
when your
hear the
little
gun,
dog's
right?
barking, you pick him up. You're like, no, stop.
And it's more personal when you stab somebody too. It's more personal. You're angry. He could have just shot the gun. People would have heard it, but it wouldn't have been as personal. He had anger.
It also reminds me of
I
this.
agree.
When I did that reenactment, I did it with him walking them across the creek and pointing and holding them at gunpoint. He had to have the gun in his hand the whole time. He didn't holster it going through the creek. He kept it in his hand. You know what I mean? And then he got to the other side, and that's where he stopped the
right.
Okay, now here's my question. So answer this for everybody. You got a pistol cocked and loaded and ready to fire. What happens if you put it in your holster? Will it go off? Can it go off?
The
What happens-
P20, the handgun that he had does not, because it's a semi-automatic handgun,
And it
and
has a-
it's a
Same
double
thing?
action.
Yes. It's got
handgun.
2 pieces on it, right? You got to pull the trigger into another piece that slides in. Now,
Yes.
in a fight, can that be
I'm
pulled?
going to take a call. I'll be right
If
back.
your finger's on the trigger, yeah.
If someone, yeah. I mean, and that could happen if we all of a sudden, if you got a pistol in your, or anywhere, and if we start fighting, it's a possibility that thing could go off. Because we're going to, the thing is if we're fighting over this gun, I'm going to try to grab it. And so is he.
And that
right?
happens sometimes. And some of them have hairpin triggers where it's
I
like
just
really.
feel like a 13-year-old
Right.
girl's not going to try to do that. But I have a question for you, Anthony. So in Indiana, I guess guns are like a thing. People are really like proud of their guns and like guns.
I don't know why everybody thinks that.
What? No, I'm just asking.
No, people just have
like,
guns. That's it, and they will shoot you.
It's like Texas.
Thanks,
Just
Tips.
like Texas.
Okay, my question for you is, would one of the girls been more comfortable around guns and thought like, oh, this guy's not serious, like everyone's got guns?
Oh, it could have been, yeah, but I don't think that was the case because they immediately like mentioned, oh, he's got a gun. They did say
Well,
that.
I don't think any 13-year-old would be comfortable with a stranger.
I
walking
definitely
towards
would have
you
been
with
if
a
that's
gun.
what I would grow up
Not
with.
if he pointed you,
I don't
pointed a
believe
gun
you.
at you.
I
If
don't
my
believe you.
dad and uncle and everybody had guns
but a
and we all went
stranger?
shooting all the time.
A stranger
she's
who's
awesome.
telling you to go down the hill?
You're 13 though. As a 13-year-old, you're a dumbass. Sorry, but it's true.
Yeah, but you still got, everybody has that little bit of, oh, maybe this isn't okay.
Okay, well, I have 2 other girls on the panel. Tell me, at 13, like how were you guys?
Well, this happened at what happened to us was only 10 years ago at 34, and
No,
you
but I'm saying
hesitate
at
or
13.
at 13 I would have been like, fuck you, I'm gonna fight back. Honestly,
Yeah?
I still have that in me now. That's why I have guns, because I'm like, I'm gonna fight back. I'm not gonna let you kill me unless I fight back. I will. Yeah, I shouldn't use it,
All
but
right,
I would
fighting.
fight back.
Go ahead, Marv. At
Yeah,
13,
I'm gonna go.
how would you would have fought
I'm gonna.
too?
At 13,
Yeah.
I got in fights all the time, girl. All the time.
I'm the only little bitch then. I
cool.
literally would have just followed
No.
exactly what. But see, I'm the Canadian, so maybe that's different.
Nope.
I mean, I tell you what, someone points a gun at me, they're gonna have to shoot me because it's over with at that point. Someone's
now
gonna
it's
die. Someone's gonna.
Now it's different.
Then I tell you what. If I was 13 years old, dude, I smacked the mayor. Come on now. I mean, dude.
Shut up, bro.
I mean, who was the former sheriff? So, dude, listen. Wow. I'm on it, dude. I don't care.
No, but I don't know. I kind of feel like they were catfished on the bridge. I feel like the way that bridge is, it's a scary bridge, and I wouldn't have showed up there at that age unless there was a boy there. And I brought my best
Anthony
friend.
Shots was supposed to be there.
Yeah, that's what I think. And
true.
I think like I would bring my best friend. I'd be like, hey, can you come with me? We're gonna meet this boy.
And they did. They asked Max Snowberger to go too, and he didn't go.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
sad. But you know what? We're gonna end this because Marv's got to go. We stayed on for 30 minutes longer than I wanted to. Okay.
My daughter's coming tomorrow, so I'm
Yay.
excited to have her home.
Okay. Well, she can join the podcast tomorrow. So.
Yes, all girls.
Right.
Okay, guys. Marv, thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Any last words from each one of you? Start with Marv, since she's got to go, and then we'll go.
I guess, you know, we're not going to know anything until this trial happens, and you know what? Get this contempt hearing done and over with. Start the trial so I can hear the freaking evidence.
Yes.
That's what I want.
I think the whole point of this live tonight was to show layman's how things happen in real facts. Like, that's not a fact that what we did, but we're just showing you how there's not a magic bullet. And we all got off topic with each other and had a good time, but
always,
really we just wanted to show people how things are real and not fabricated or fake. So that was why I came on. I'm having fun with you guys, just making up stuff. But
no, that video that
really,
you made was awesome. It really shows like what could have happened in real life.
I just say justice for Abby and Libby. I want justice.
Yeah,
I want anybody involved taken down.
I
want justice for these girls.
Yes, that's a major thing. And Grano, send me your little picture that you have of how you want the bullets that you showed me earlier.
I got you.
Yeah,
I'll show you.
Cool.
And then Jay, Intertwined.
You ever had deja vu before?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm having right now. Like and subscribe, everybody.
Richard Allen has the same thing right now. He woke up and saw the same thing he saw for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
It's Groundhog's Day for him. Carly, any last words from you?
No, not really. I'm just trying to get everybody's links in so that everybody can subscribe to everybody else. So subscribe to Guilty of Crime, subscribe to Intertwined, subscribe to Beyond the Evidence, and Greeno, y'all know him.
Thank you.
And don't subscribe to her.
Thank you for having me up here.
I don't have a channel, so
hey, when you subscribe to all of us, you subscribe to Carly and to Andrea on my channel. So
yes,
thank you to the mods. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Carly, Greeno, Jay, number one, and Marv.
Hey, I appreciate y'all. And thanks, Kelly, for coming on. I don't know what happened with your stuff or why you dropped out. You're welcome on again anytime. All right, guys.
That was awesome.
So
have a good night, everybody.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Carly.
Bye. That's
How
my
do we
favorite.
Keep it on this channel?
No, we're not doing that. That's just
We keep it Southern style.
Do it.
Hey.
Yo.
Do it, Carly.
No.
Do
Jay,
it.
do it.
One of us. One of us.
Come on. We need a girl.
That's actually Southern. Oh wait, no, I'm in Southern British Columbia.
Southern Canada. There you go.
Yeah, keep it Southern style, y'all.
Yeah. Keep it Southern style. That's how we do it. Okay. I got a new one for everybody.
Style.
And remember, justice matters.
Yes.
Justice matters.
Yes.
Justice for
Say
Abby and Libby.
see something. Say something.
Say something. Ah.
And for the Canadians out there, no, go ahead, Jay.
Everybody's guilty of crime. We just haven't got caught.
Everybody's guilty of crime. It's like a wrestling match right now. It's like we're all in the ring giving our catchphrases. It's like there it is, and we're all getting intertwined with it, right?
My catchphrases will get everybody banned. It's all good.
Yeah, I know.
So
all right, everybody.
What's the Canadians one?
Oh, the Canadians one. We're gonna end it
no,
now.
No, the Canadians, we're sorry. We're so sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, they talk
sorry.
weird. No, everybody. All right, so we're out of here.
You say
that note,
Wisconsin.
Hey,
Oh,
on that note,
God.
everybody.
And then it's West. Where's
Listen
Lollipop?
here.
You
How am I
tell
gonna
him
say-
what's up.
How many times have I said on that note, everybody?
Miss-
Everybody? All right.
Everyone,
Here's
shut
how we
up.
go.
What do you
All right.
What do you want? You said girls against boys. You just lost.
Hold on. All right. So for the Canadians out there, keep it Southern style, eh?
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, then hit that like button, share it on social media, then subscribe for updates, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of the action. On that note, everybody, I'm Anthony Greeno. True Crime Investigates. Keep it Southern style, y'all.